All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Hope you guys are having a very wonderful day. Uh, to those in South Africa, this will be 5 p.m. To those in the UK, this will be like 9 a.m. John, am I correct? Is this 9 a.m.? Let me know. How are you all doing? Well, I wonder what the time is all over the world from wherever my viewers are watching me from. Hello, I'm Michianuka. If you're in Israel, this will be, uh, I guess, 6 o'clock. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys had having a very wonderful day. Or if yours is just starting, I hope it's starting up great. I hope you're waking up on the right side of the bed. Hope you are ready to get to work. Have a fantastic day. Yeah, 5 p.m. in Israel. Oh, okay. Oh, 1 hour ahead of us. That's interesting. I didn't see that. I thought it was like 2 hours. Okay. That's interesting. This is 4 p.m. in Nigeria, for those who don't know. This is 4 p.m. in Nigeria. And 10 a.m. in Texas. See? I'm correct. I know my time zones. 5 p.m. in South Africa as well. You see? At least I'm correct in some ways, in a couple of ways. Okay, today we are talking about the legendary Candace Owens. Vicky James is watching from Lagos, so it's 4 p.m. over there in Lagos, just like how it is over where I am. Amit is saying we moved the clock back because of the winter. Okay. You know, in this part of the world, we don't move the clock. The clock is always where it is. It doesn't move. Because we don't have winter over here. We just have two seasons in Nigeria. We have rainy season and dry season. So there's a season where it is raining, it rains heavily. You guys saw some of it during some of my live streams. And then we have the season where it is just dry and hot and sunny and scorching. You know, sometimes during the dry season, it can be hot like that, but mostly around like November, December, January, February, you just have serious heat. I think around January and February you can have serious heat, the type that give you heat rashes. Yep. So guys, please smash that like button, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, smash the like button. We are going to have an exciting show. I can't wait to show you guys all the powers that I have stacked up. You know, I have plenty powers and I want to show you all of them. And so be ready. Grab your popcorn. Grab your drink. Anything that you drink, just grab all of them. We are about to go into something very interesting, something very exciting. We are about to talk about the great Candace Owens, okay? The great, great, great and mighty Candace Owens and all the wonderful things she wants us to know, okay? How do I begin? Okay, I'll begin by saying this. I think I finally get it, right? Like, I feel like I finally get Candace Owens. Not like get why she's this ridiculous and why she's this crazy. But well, maybe I also finally get why she's this ridiculous and crazy. But more importantly, I think I finally get her appeal. You know, why she's appealing and why some people gravitate towards her. It's not because of she's sensible or because she's reasonable. It's because, you know, she tells a very compelling story. That is the thing about Candace Owens. She tells a very compelling story. I remember when I was younger. Now, many people don't know this about me, but let me give you a little personal information about myself. Let me share something personal about myself. So, I didn't, like, for so many people, you know, if you ask them when did you start dating, they'll say they start dating when they were as young as 16 or 17 or something like that. I didn't start dating very early. In fact, I did the first girlfriend that I had was at the age of 25. So you can imagine. I know for so many people, you'll be like, what? Yes. First girlfriend, I was 25. Okay? So keep that in mind. And I didn't have multiple. It's not like I dated like 4 or 5 women and then I finally found the one and then I settled. No. It's that I dated only two women. Two. One of the first relationship was kind of like an in and out thing. You know, and then the second one was, you know, led to marriage. And now I'm happily married, thanks to God. Sometimes I often forget to wear my ring during all these live streams. So people might think that I'm single. It's just that I always forget to wear it. but I am married, happily married, by the way. Anyways, but I'm saying all of this to say, I didn't have this dating experience. But when I was growing up, even while I was in my early adult, like 20, 21, 22, 23, when I was this young adult, right? I loved, unlike, which is contrary to what you find amongst many young men. I love like romance movies, rom-coms. I love watching them. When I was younger, we watch telenovelas, right? We watch Paloma and Diego, When You Are Mine. We watch The Second Chance, Salvador Sorenza, Abi, Don Pedro. We watch all those, romantic telenovelas, or we watch all telenovelas are about love and romance anyways. So it goes without saying. And then I watch a lot of rom-com. Why? Because somehow when you're not in a relationship, when you watch those movies, you put yourself in the shoe of somebody, you kind of imagine that your life has this very interesting love story going on. You can't wait for the next episode because you think that's the continuation of somehow your imaginary love story. I guess that's why women also like reading romance novels as well. They it's a way of you to imagine yourself live this kind of exciting life where something is really happening, contrary to the otherwise boring, have nothing going for you kind of life that you are living at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So I feel the same thing applied to Candace Owens and her fan base. These are people, I believe, not all of them though, but many of them have nothing interesting going on in their lives, okay? And that's a whole lot of us, okay? Even I myself, I can look at my life and be like, what is really interesting that is going on? I don't have this labyrinth of conspiracies surrounding my existence. I don't have many actors grappling for power, betraying me, stabbing me in the back. This is like a whole elaborate conspiracy movie, I don't have that going on in my life. So it's either I watch a movie about it and feel like, wow, I wish I'm rooting for this actor. I hope he overcomes all the enemies on all sides. Or I listen to Candace Owens, who's going to tell me something similar, but make it feel more realistic. Maybe make it feel like, this is not just a movie. This is real life. And I think that's her appeal. Candace Owens is appealing because she tells a very appealing story. She tells a very wow story. She tells a story that her audience wants to be true because somehow it distracts them otherwise boring lives. Candace Owens is an interesting person to listen to. That is the appeal. When I was preparing for this live stream, I sat down and I watched what we are going to react to. I watched the clip. I've watched so many Candace Owens' clip before, but in a hurry, right? But this one, I was not in a hurry. I watched it. I took my time. And I was just laughing. The whole thing was exciting to me. Somehow I found myself falling in love. I'm like, wow, I love this. I think I said twice out loud to the annoyance of my wife, I love this woman. Like I screamed it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, I love this woman. It's just, she's crazy, but her craziness is, if you choose not to be annoyed, if you choose not to be outraged, if you choose not to be tricked into, and I guess that's kind of like the goal for Candace Owens anyways. She wants to kind of get a rise out of you or get you to be on her side. Is it that you love the content that Candace Owens is putting out and you are rooting for her, or you hate it and you are angry with her? Either way is what she wants, So, but for me, I just sat back and I was like, this is interesting stuff. If she was just someone who is trying to uncover the mystery of, what actually is the shape of the earth, and she's really doing an investigation to get to the bottom of the matter. If it's something less crucial and doesn't involve the ruining of many people's lives, it will be easy, it will be fun to watch. I'm telling you, Candace Owens, if you finally want to pivot from this, just go to some other conspiracy theory and I will watch you. I won't watch you because I agree with you. I'll watch you because you are fun to watch. You are funny. You are funny unintentionally. She's not like funny like she's Theo Von kind of funny or anything, or Dave Chappelle kind of funny. No, she's not that kind of funny. She's the butt of the joke kind of funny, unintentionally being the butt of the joke kind of funny. And watching her just Just maybe I kept laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And I just want to give you guys a couple of spoilers before we get into the video. There's one thing you should watch out for whenever Candace Owens is doing all this. Here are a couple of, information I want to share with you guys. I just want to, present it to you guys so you guys will know what is going on and how I believe that this shows that there is a conspiracy going on, or there is a, everyone in Charlie Kirk's life, nothing about his life is real, and everyone betrayed him. He was betrayed by everyone. When she, that's how she often, introduces her podcast and tell you that something grand is about to be uncovered. Everyone is implicated. No one should be trusted. I am the only trustworthy person. And then each podcast, or maybe one or two podcasts, she picks somebody and make the person a scapegoat, which is kind of what she does in every podcast. She goes from Bill Ackman to Seth Dillon to Josh Hammer to now I think Rob McCoy or whatever his name is. I don't know what exactly his name is. It's not like I think he's a terrible person or anything like that. I don't know the name of the pastor. That's Charlie's pastor. She just keeps picking people one after the other. I think soon she's going to focus on Andrew Covert, and then she will go to someone else. She's just telling us, there are a couple of names and people we are going to explore. Whenever she is doing that, just ask yourself, whatever she presents to you, which is a rule of thumb. I've given Candace Owens' fans this tidbit to help them understand where I'm coming from. But whatever it is you are watching Candace Owens do, keep asking yourself this: what does it prove? It is so interesting. Every time I watch her, I'll pause. Like when I was watching her this time, I will pause and I'll be like, but what does that prove? She brings another information and I'm like, okay, but what does that prove? She brings another one and I'm like, okay, what does that prove? And every time it doesn't prove her point. Maybe it proves that this person is kind of a sketchy fellow. It proves that this person may be lying. It proves that this person, it's somebody that we should not trust. Okay, fine. Is that what you're trying to prove, Candace? Obviously not. That's not what you're trying to prove. What you're trying to prove is that, there's this huge conspiracy around him and, everyone in his life is complicit or is either complicit or an accomplice to the murder. So that's kind of what you want to prove. But none of this proves this. And again, she's going to even say that's not even the claim she's making, which is another thing I want people to consider when they watch Candace Owens. This will help her be less dangerous. You might still find her entertaining, you might still find her appealing, but at least she will be less dangerous. She will be less likely to lead somebody to go out to want to attack Seth Dillon because he thinks Seth Dillon is responsible for the death of Charlie, or is part of the people who are, part of the conspiracy, because it happened recently, okay? It happened recently. So to prevent people who enjoy her rambling but still want to, it will help them, I believe. This will help them listen to Candace Owens, enjoy her show, and not be crazy at the very least. Just ask yourself basic, simple stuff like, okay, but what does this actually prove? What evil does this prove? How does this implicate them in the murder of Charlie Kirk? How exactly does this show that these people really wanted to bring him down? How does this make them responsible for anything that happened to Charlie? Which is the reason why you are watching at the end of the day. So when you ask yourself these questions, you come to the conclusion that this is irrelevant. All of these are interesting stories. Yes, the intro to the story is this will show how this is connected in this big labyrinth of conspiracies that led to the death of this very promising young man, right? But none of it is connecting. Yes, the introduction is, there's this big conspiracy. Everyone everyone did not really, no one really cared about, Charlie Kirk. Everything about his life is not real. That is the introduction. But what is presented might seem interesting, right? What she presents might be interesting. It might be weird. It might be worth prodding the narrative of, but it's definitely not going to lead to anything that would justify the big claim that is used to introduce it. You understand? So, but we'll see all of that. We'll see all of that demonstrated when we listen to Candace Owens, right? But before we get into that, let me acknowledge the people that are putting their money where my mouth is, which are the kind of people that I want on my show. Every other person who is not putting their money where my mouth is, well, just keep smashing the like button. Don't mind me, I'm joking. Anyways, Unusual AI, thank you for the $2.49, 2.49 pounds. And West Girl, thank you for the 6.99 Canadian dollars. Say, welcome everyone. Let's like, share, and support our brother. Please do that. Like, share, and support. I need all the support, okay? I'm not even going to try and pretend like I don't need support. I need it, a lot of it, okay? So yeah, thank you for the super chat, and let's get into this. Let this load. You can see that I've been watching a lot of Candace. Oh, euros, not pounds. Sorry.
After everything that we've been through over the past 5 years.
Do I know the difference? I do not, honestly. So this is euros. This is not. And she, the super sticker said vibes. You know, it's now I'm recognizing that that's actually what the super. I'm a horrible super sticker reader, even super chat reader. I don't know how to read. Okay, I failed the reading exam in school. It's not true. I'm joking. I know how to read. Anyways, where are we? All right. So let's start from here. Let's back this up a little bit. Let's start from 355. The timestamp 355, and hopefully this is normal speed. All right.
A public execution, and call me crazy. Many people do. But I was so clearly deluded in the immediate aftermath of his death that I was operating under this function. I mean, I truly believed that I would be fighting for answers to what actually happened on 9/10 alongside Charlie's Inner Circle. I thought the band maybe was going to get back together. We were all going to maybe be on a group chat. Me, Tyler Boyer, Andrew Colvett, Stacey Sheridan even. If you're wondering who Stacey Sheridan is, by the way, she's the one who's holding the camera when Charlie's casket is being escorted off of Air.
This crazy woman thought after the death of Charlie, people are going to invite her in and be like, yeah, let's all crack this case together. Let's figure out what's happening to our friends because, you know, we are crime fighters. We are private investigators. Let's not leave it to the FBI. Let's come together and we'll try to figure out what happened with our friends. That's what she was. That's what she was expecting would happen. She thought people are going to be like, yes, let's bring over the lady who said Brigitte Macron is a man. Let's bring that person over. Let's bring that person over. You know, let's bring that person back to the conversation and bring her on. She's going to help us solve this. She really believed that. She really wanted us to believe that she believed that was what was going to happen. She was really optimistic that after the death of Charlie, you know, she's just going to be brought in. You know, as you know, she's a friend. She's a friend. You know, maybe Candace, maybe you, maybe this just goes to show that that they don't rate you. I mean, the CEO of Turning Point USA is Erica Koch, the widow of the Charlie's widow. And even she will not bring you into the group and be like, okay, let's figure out what is going out here. You know, Candace, I put you in charge. Or maybe you know, I've had people have theorized and suspected that maybe Erica and Candace are working in the background. You know, Erica and Candace are in the shadows trying to watch. You know, something is going on. There's this collaboration between them, not public, but it is private. You know, yeah. I believe you. True. Probably, you know, probably. But it begs the question still. Why have they not introduced you to be part of the conversation, Candace? Why have you not been introduced? Is it because, like you suggest, that these people, you know, are not to be trusted and all of them are hiding something and there's something that needs to be revealed and we need to get to the bottom of the matter? Or maybe it's because you are not welcomed and you've not been welcomed for a very long time. You know, maybe because Charlie was not, you know, although you say it's not like you were kicked out of Turning Point USA, but you were not in when Charlie Koch was alive, and they refused to have you back in when he's dead. Maybe. You know, these are possible explanation to what is going on. But of course, possible explanations should be thrown out of the window, ladies and gentlemen. We are listening to Candace Owens. So possible explanations are irrelevant, okay? You know? Kind of reminds me, whenever I'm having conversation with people, and then they'll tell me, you are behaving like this because of this. This is the reason why you are behaving like this. And they give me a very preposterous reason. I've had this conversation with people or have you ever had it with people where you do something and then they tell you the reason why you are doing this is because of this. Usually when I have that kind of conversation with people, I often ask them, is that all the reason you can think of why I'm doing what I'm doing? Especially when what they're accusing me, the reason they are attributing to me is not the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. I always ask, can't you think of any other possible reason for why I'm doing this? Can't you think of any other possible reason? Why don't you just, instead of just saying it's this reason, this is why, what about other possible reasons? And usually when they are not angry, or when they are calm enough to think, they can think of like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 possible reasons that they've ignored and zeroed in on one and saying this is the reason. It's the same thing that Candace Owens does. She ignores every other possible scenario that may be at play or likelihood of what is going on, explanations for what is going on. She ignores every other possible explanation and just zeroes in on one and be like, this is the one. This is the reason. And I insist that this is the reason. But who knows?
Force 2. She's like the chief money person, essentially, at Turning Point USA. She was brought in to reel in the big donors. I remember exactly when that happened. All of those people, by the way, were actually brought in by Tyler Boyer. He's a very important character in the story, but we're going to get into all of that tomorrow. The point that I'm making here is that I had assumed, clearly wrongly, that we'd all maybe be on a group chat communicating, raising hell and demanding answers from the feds, from the police, from the White House even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no.
Here's the funny thing about this whole thing. Usually when the FBI, when they're carrying out investigations like this, one of the things that is required, especially when you want to get answers in the future, you want the FBI to fill in all the gap. You want the FBI and the intelligence agencies to fill in all the gap, to tell you everything that is going on. One of the things that is required, especially when this is an ongoing investigation or when they are yet to take this to trial, is that you would expect that the police or the FBI will not tell you everything that they know, because it's going to be detrimental to the case they are building against the person that they are trying to indict. They have all the pieces together. They know what they are doing, or at least it is safe to which it should be assumed that they know what they are doing until they prove that they don't, right? And then after the trial, will see all that they have. They will show you everything that they have, or maybe they wouldn't. So it's not like the FBI is has told the public everything that needs to be known about this case, and they shouldn't, because they have. Oh, look at that! Sorry, I've just been distracted by somebody. The J White podcast. I was looking at your podcast, and sorry. I know this is kind of like me going away from what I was saying to focusing on somebody who's listening just caught my attention. But I was watching your reaction to Candace Owens recently, and one of my viewers or fans, a huge fan of this show, that's Jax, told me to check out your stuff, and I was looking at it earlier this week, and now I have you in my live chat. I am blessed. Okay, I am honored. Thank you so much for gracing. I am really, really honored. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy, you like what you see. I hope you do. Anyways, what was I talking about before I decided to give that shout out? Anyways, so back to what I was saying is, someone like Candace Owens will later tell us in this podcast that we should all be patient. That, that she's patient, rather, that she's a patient person, that she learns how to fish and something like that. She's going to give us some fishing analogy, moving, down the down the line, down the road. She's going to come up with this fishing analogy of why patience is important and all whatnot, and why we should be patient, and why she has it all, like she has this strategy all mapped out, and it's going to take time. She just wants people to enter into the snare that she has set for them, and when they enter, she's going to pounce on them. She's going to be like, look at how I did it with Josh Hammer, and now I'm about to do it with the rest of them. But all this, I have this plan that is going to take time to manifest, and I am very patient, right? But here she is saying that the natural response, listen to her, this woman is a walking contradiction. She is saying that the natural response, or what she was expecting from those at Turning Point USA, at those who are the executives of Turning Point USA, what she was expecting for them is to start asking questions right away, banging on every door, demanding for answers immediately. Everything should be made available to them. Everything should be made public. Like that is the adequate response, is what she's saying here. So which is it, Candace? Are you somebody who is patient, who has all the cards, but you will not let it out in the public because you have this grand plan, this grand reveal that you are working on, and how you want it to happen in such a spectacular fashion? And of course, if you are doing it like that, you are doing it because you want the clout. Obviously, you are doing this because this is going to be clout worthy. But let me not say you are doing it for clout. You are doing it because you love your friend, of course. But you are a patient person, waiting for people who you are going to expose to kind of implicate themselves first, or release a statement first, and then you are going to respond with a vengeance. But you are being patient with it. You're not letting all your cards out. You're not even letting the public, those who fervently listen to your show, get all the information right away. You are giving it to them piecemeal by piecemeal, even telling them to be patient, right? But when it comes to the FBI, who you want to be feeding you information, you want them to give it to you right away. No patience. No, let us get through with this case. Let's get a conviction first. And then will tell you everything we have, all the things we have, all the information we have will be made publicly available afterwards. Right? But Candace Owens is like, no. I was expecting the impatience. I wasn't expecting the kind of patience I'm demanding from my fans. That's essentially what Candace Owens is saying here. She was expecting everybody to be, Erica just lost her husband. She's grieving. She has children to take care of. She has an organization that needs to be run now. She's taking over. She's the CEO, right? And in addition to that, she should, ignore all the responsibilities that are now lying on her shoulder and, follow you on this wild goose chase of finding who exactly was underneath the tunnel, and whether it is the bees, there's this bee theory, or whether it is, a second shooter, or whether it is, somebody at Turning Point USA, or whatever it is, whether it's the guy on the phone or it's something. They should follow you. They should abandon every other thing they are supposed to do and join you, and even be in a WhatsApp group chat where everybody will be having this conversation. That is what you are really expecting, Candace. For real. Well, yeah. Yeah, and these are questions that our fans will not. In fact, some of our fans will be watching this and will be like, yeah, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting everyone to be angry, to be like, yes, let's get to the bottom of this. Let us. This lady who is talking about let's get to the bottom of this took a 1 week break. She says she took the 1 week break to really settle in and let the truth really, rest on her shoulder completely. Let her accept the reality of what is going on. She took a 1 week break. But others who are more patient than her are evil people and should not even be patient at all. Everybody should be, raising their voices and making demands from the FBI. That's what Candace wants us to believe.
I was wrong. Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved. Just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio. Hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need a grassy knoll. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I got to be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture. But maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ simply, to use an expression, had his wits about him.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
JFK had a
Vibes, ladies and gentlemen, vibes. Okay, it's about vibes. Now she's making this LBJ. JFK analogy, which is kind of like, and of course she's saying, I don't believe that LBJ is just what is she trying to say now? Like, I don't believe that LBJ is not somebody who is happy to see that JFK is out of the picture and now he gets to run things and all whatnot. Everybody is looking kind of suspect. And of course, for her, she's like, even LBJ is kind of suspect. And they want us to believe that somebody like LBJ was just too sad to take over the organization. It's something that he was sad about. He doesn't want this. Now, the comparison, who is LBJ in the case of Charlie? Many people have speculated that is Erica. But here is the brilliance of Candace Owens. She's never, for now, who knows what will happen in the future because this woman is unpredictable. But there's still a method to her madness. But that method always give room for multiple options. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is she's never going to say, at least for now, that Erica is the person taking over, running the show. She's going to keep saying the executives, those are Turning Point USA, the Turning Point USA gang, everyone in Turning Point USA. She's going to, for the next foreseeable future, going to go on with that like rhetoric of, yes, it's people at Turning Point USA that are the LBJ in this situation. They're the ones that are taking advantage of the death of Charlie Kirk, or even the ones behind it, and they want us to believe that they're just taking over and moving on because they have to move on. The show has to go on, as opposed to they were in on it and they are happy for this and they can't wait to move on because they wanted to get rid of Charlie, and very likely that is what happened. And then they finally got rid of Charlie. She's just going to keep saying they. And people are going to keep saying, or people who are her critics are going to keep saying, no, you are referring to Erica. You are referring to Erica. You are definitely referring to Erica. And then when that is brought to her notice, she will be like, well, I never said Erica. I never called any person's name. In fact, here is the interesting thing. When you listen to this rant that we're about to listen to, one thing you will come to the conclusion of is that every name she's going to drop, there is no direct claim from her that this is the LBJ in this situation. She's going to drop a lot of names. She's going to try to expose a lot of people. But all the names she's going to drop, all the people she will try to expose, she's never going to say directly that these are the people who betrayed Charlie. She's not, all the exposing of Josh Hammer, for example. You are not going to find one sentence from Candace Owens that says Josh Hammer is the betrayed Charlie, or a suggestion that he did. Even when she brought up the so-called public execution tweet made by Josh Hammer saying, this is my view of what Josh Hammer was trying to say, blah, 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 blah. She's never going to categorically say that I believe or I suggest or I'm claiming, she is claiming that Josh Hammer is making this statement because he's implicated in the murder of Charlie Kirk. She's never going to make that statement. She's going to leave so many hanging statements and expect her audience or her critics to join them together and, create further narratives out of this. But she's not going to categorically say it. She's going to expose a lot of people, so-called expose, or in other words, just drop their name and try to ruin their lives. But she's never going to categorically say that they were part of a conspiracy to kill Charlie Kirk and take over his organization. She's going to make the claim that there are people who are trying to do it. She's going to keep making that claim that people at Turning Point USA did that or tried to do it, and she feel it, and she's going to go out on a limb to say it and declare it to be true. And then she's going to name a couple of Turning Point USA people and say she's trying to expose them, but she's never going to make the claim that this is the person she was referring to when she made the first claim that there are people in Turning Point USA that betrayed Charlie Kirk. She's never going to make that connecting statement. Never. Never. You know why I think she will never do that? Because if she does that, she has opened herself up to a defamation lawsuit. That is defamatory. But she's a smart person. She's a smart person. You saw she just already dropped a couple of names and said these people, she thought they were going to reach out to her, but they did not reach out to her rather. Okay, make the connection then. Say that these people are the ones that are part of the conspiracy to kill Charlie. She will never say it. Instead, she will say, I know that there are people. I suspect, I have a vibe about these people. I feel like these people are not to be trusted. And I feel like Charlie Kirk was betrayed and that this was an inside job from people at Turning Point USA. I am never going to say these are the people, but I'm just going to say these people look suspect. And then leave it there. And then her fans are going to make the connection in their head. A connection that she will always claim that she never made. Which, of course, she never did. But that is the entire point of what she's trying to do, that she says without saying. And she knows if you are going to take me to court, you can never say that I said it. Because you take all the hours of my clips, everything I've said publicly, like everything she's ever said publicly, take all of them and analyze them again. Listen to them and listen to them again. You are never going to hear her say, this person is part of the conspiracy. This person is part of the conspiracy. This person is the person at Turning Point USA that is responsible. This person is the person at Turning Point USA that I'm accusing of being part of the conspiracy to kill Charlie. She will never make that statement. But she's going to make that ground statement. And after making that ground statement, she's going to point out one person and then point out whatever it is she wants to point out about that person and show how that person cannot be trusted. And then her audience are going to say, if Candace is saying this person cannot be trusted and has spent 58 minutes talking about this one person, trying to show how this one person is somebody who cannot be trusted. And earlier she said that there are people in Turning Point USA that betrayed Charlie. Therefore, this person is that person or is part of those people. And that is how she plans to ruin their reputation. It is beautiful. if when it is not nefarious and just evil, it is beautiful to see. Okay, and that is something nobody can deny. This is brilliance. Okay, say whatever you want to say about this woman, this evil woman. And yes, she's evil, but it is brilliant to watch. It's just brilliant to watch. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So let's keep watching. But before we continue, my goodness. Look, first time viewer is sending me money. What is happening to the rest of you? Some of you are like 10 times. People are watching me for the 100th time. Yes, you're here to send me money. All right. The Jay White podcast said Candace Owens wants the Candice to come to the conclusion she's leading to. That way her hands are clean. This is leading the witness. Objection. Of course, that is exactly what she's trying to do. She wants them to come to the conclusion, but she's never going to say, I said that. I mean, remember the whole Bill Ackman thing? I just remember that, like, when she was accusing Bill Ackman of stuff, and Bill Ackman was like, I never did this. Okay, this is how she did it. An intervention was how did she say it now? There was an intervention for Charlie Kirk. Bill Ackman was there. Bill Ackman was angry. Threats were made. Money was offered. BB was called. Bill Ackman was like, I did not stage any intervention. 1, I did not issue any threat. 2, 3, I did not offer any money. And then Candace will come out and be like, well, which is true. Which is true in her own, on her part, it is true. When she says, well, I did not say you offered the money. I did not say you made the threat. I did not say you were even part of the intervention. I mean, she did not say any of this. She didn't. Like, if you listen to her carefully, you'll be like, my goodness, she didn't say that actually. But the way she said it to make it look like she said it, beautiful. That's brilliance. Although it's brilliance to the wrong end, and for something that will really, really destroy people's lives. Okay, this woman is out to destroy people's lives. She is. Like, there is no other way to paint it. She's out to destroy and ruin people's lives. And she will not stop until she does that.
Plan. Like, in the event that he had been horrifically assassinated in front of the world, JFK maybe had a succession plan. Now, if these terms I'm using here sound familiar to you, it's because they should sound familiar. It's the exact terminology that was utilized by Pastor Rob McCoy just 4 days after Charlie was murdered. In front of his congregation, he spoke about Charlie's succession plan that he was somehow privy to. I don't know why, but he knew 4 days later and announced to the world that Charlie indeed had a plan. Take a listen.
Everyone's worried about the leadership of TPUSA. Don't. He was wise enough at 31 to put together a plan for succession. It's very clear what they decided, and they're implementing it now.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. So on September 4th,
I think also maybe now that there's a crazy person running around town, people need to be careful, especially people like Rob McCoy and, people who Candace is going to feature. One advice I would give to every one of them is stop speaking for Charlie. Stop. Just stop. Whether you are right, whether you are wrong. Just stop saying he stood for this, he didn't stand for that. Look, it is now an easy argument for so many people. Like one way to make a point at this point, I would say yes. One way to make a point in the conservative circle right now is to say this is what Charlie Kirk would have wanted, or this is what he stood for. As if somehow because Charlie stood for something, therefore it is true. It's kind of like he has acquired that saint-like status on the right, where anything, just is like, how the Eastern Orthodox would be like, Saint Ignatius said this, Saint Clement said this, and he's one of the early church fathers, therefore they have authority. That's kind of like the position that Charlie has been elevated to in conservative circles, such that him saying something or him standing for something or him being part of something kind of gives that thing authority, or kind of make it worth listening to and worth considering. And I'm like, it's not like I want to undermine the man and his achievements. He has done his part and we thank God for it. And maybe books can be written about him and people can read those books and be inspired. But right now, at least right now, to speak like Tucker Carlson, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anyone to claim to be the mouthpiece of Charlie at this point. Especially when the man is someone who, whether in his private life or in his public life, you can always find something that seems to contradict one thing that he said. I'm not saying he's a walking contradiction, but somebody who texts a lot. Sorry. If there's one thing I've learned from the life of Charlie, is don't text a lot, okay? Don't send people a lot of text messages. Keep so many things to yourself. Keep quiet, because you don't know who you are sending the text message to. You don't know where that text message will appear. So maybe just keep stuff to yourself. If there's one person you should send text message to, it should be to your wife and to your brother. That's if you trust them that much. But random friends, because you people went fishing together and you people have been close buddies together, then you just keep sending people text messages and telling them what your inner thoughts are saying. I think that is not wise. But that aside, now that he's gone, unfortunately, people around him should stop saying, this is what Charlie was like. This is what he stood for. This is enough. Just let it rest for now. For now. Now that there's a crazy person out there looking for ways to discredit everything and every idea that people are going to attribute to Charlie. Maybe for now, just lay low on the Charlie did this, Charlie had this, Charlie wanted this, Charlie imagined this. Just keep quiet and let everything. If you want to console your congregation, go to the scriptures, okay? Quote the Bible and tell them, I console you with the word of God, and leave it at that. So that you don't end up featuring on Candace Owens, and then she's going to twist your words, which is what she's about to do now, and make you look ridiculous in front of her audience, and then send her deranged fan base, send them towards you to harass and make your life a living hell, because that's what is about to happen. I don't know why I'm so excited to see this. Weirdly excited, okay? It's not like I know this is evil, but somehow there's just something about it that is making me like, you know what? I love what I see.
14th, we were made aware of this succession plan, and I find that to be fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie all around the world seem to be fighting harder for him, fighting harder for truth. And it is, in fact, thanks to people on the internet like Sam Parker, James Lee, Ian Carroll, Zeb Boykin,
yes,
many others.
All the right
video
people.
From September 10th has gone pretty viral, okay? So let's take a look at this. It's a video of course, Pastor Rob McCoy's son. His name is Mike McCoy. And you're going to see what he does, not in the seconds following Charlie getting shot, but in less than 1 second after Charlie gets shot. These are not seconds, less than 1 second. You're going to watch what Michael McCoy does. First, let's hear his daddy's version of the events. Take it away, Pastor McCoy.
As a father, I want to protect my son. And I thought, I got a plan for you, son. He said, Dad, that's not Charlie's plan. And you know what? I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray. I said, okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And
two things I want you to remember here. You may have caught that, but he said, I was watching. And the minute Charlie got shot, he called, and Mikey McCoy says to his dad, Charlie's been shot, pray for him. He says the minute, maybe he's being a little hyperbolic. We're going to find out. I'd certainly like to find out. But he stops himself. He says, I was watching. Watching what exactly? What were you watching? I remember that.
Yeah.
It's rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm going to tell you why that's rubbing me.
She's asking all the right questions. She's looking in every right direction. This is this one is interesting. Let me break down what is happening here. So she went to this pastor, and this pastor is, I think, the president of Turning Point Faith, I guess. I'm not sure. So in this clip, he's talking about how, first of all, we saw where he said that Charlie already had a succession plan. That's one. And Candace is like, these are people that are talking about the succession plan. They are talking that, there is a succession plan. And here he is claiming that his son was there when it all happened, and his son called him the minute after it happened, and his son had his wit about him, and his son was and his son was drenched in blood, which to me, I feel this is a father talking about his son and being a bit hyperbolic. And then said he was watching. Now, whatever that means, we don't know. Rob McCoy may have meant it in a different way, which is why I feel so. This is why I think the best advice to give to so many of these people is just stop talking. Just stop talking. Stop talking. Just, your sermon can be about something else. Not making it look like Charlie is now the person that is giving you, is now your source of credibility. Just stop talking and just wait this thing out, okay? Wait it out. Many people, even in the podcast space, have stopped talking. Although some still use Charlie as a defense, like Matt Walsh, using it as a defense for unite, no enemy to the right talking point and all whatnot. But for the most part, just stop talking. Even Trump doesn't talk about it as much as some of these people. Even Jack Posobiec, who is very close, even Frank Turek, who was there, has not spoken about it as much as some of these people. Just stop talking. It makes you look bad. But anyways, maybe they've stopped talking, and Candace is going to their early statement. And I think, fair enough, you can say some of the things that the pastor is saying in this clip doesn't add up, because we have video to show that his son was not drenched in blood, and that his son was, on his phone before, during, and after Charlie was shot. And maybe, especially when you tell a story like this, you kind of are going to embellish a lot of things. I mean, this reminds me of kind of like the gospel stories, right? When you read something in Matthew, it's different from what you read in Mark, different from what you read in Luke. It doesn't mean that, these three people are not getting their story straight. It's just what they choose to emphasize and what they choose not to emphasize. But beyond just that, even when you have human witnesses witnessing to something, they're not going to say the same thing. And sometimes they might say things that are not actually what happened, but rather what they thought happened. But it doesn't mean that he's generally, maybe he's mistaken, maybe he's wrong, but he doesn't mean he's lying. To lie means that you have an intention to mislead people. That's what a lie is. A lie is an untrue statement that you say with the intention to mislead people. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody cannot say something. That means that's the act of lying. Now, a lie is, of course, an untrue statement. But lying is the act of saying something that is untrue with the intention to mislead the person you are talking to. And I don't think Rob McCoy was lying or intending to mislead his listeners. I think he was saying this probably not really, kind of being a bit hyperbolic or whatever, which Candace is even willing to grant. But then she's going to focus on, he said he was watching. Okay, So let's see what she's trying to uncover with the he was watching statement.
Me the wrong way in a little bit. But the bigger thing is that he says Mikey had blood all over him. Except Mikey did not have blood anywhere near him because Mikey was behind the tent when Charlie got shot. And Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear and he begins a conversation. So we're going to watch that clip in its entirety. Mark is going to bring it in.
So you can see the guy, he has his phone in his ear, or so it looks.
So we decided to slow this clip down.
Okay, slow it down.
And we're going to watch this clip slow down so you can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial. Okay.
You see, here's another thing that Candace Owens is doing. One, she's assuming that he put his phone to his ear because he was on the phone. She's assuming that he was definitely on a call. She's assuming so many things. When there are like 3,000 explanations for what was happening there. Like multiple explanations. Was he on a call? Was he blocking his ear because he just had a shot? What exactly was he trying to do? People behave different ways for different reasons. Sometimes you can't even remember what you were doing. Was he really on his phone? And who should Mike be answering to? You, Candace? Of course not. But of course, Candace is like, I deserve to know because my very best friend, bosom friend, just got shot. So
you can't dial and put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds. The next time that you're going to see Mikey McCoy, as we just showed you, is in just under 2.5 seconds on the other side of the tent. He's on a phone call. So we can track Mikey, but let's watch the clip again in milliseconds so you really grasp how quickly this transpires. So on this clip...
So notice, a shot took place. Somebody reacted. That is a reaction to a shot. Reacted by putting his hands up. And Candace is saying that is the person rightfully, just quickly going to the phone. Do you notice that? Like, there is a shot rings out. Somebody close to you is kind of, it looks like the person has been hit by that shot. And then you, as like, kind of like a reflex reaction, because you can see quickly. Let me take that back so you can watch the clip that Candace is analyzing. You see that immediate movement. That immediate movement is not I'm on a call. Or maybe it is, but we don't know. There are so many things that can explain that movement. There's so many things that can explain that movement. It could be anything. It could be he's holding his phone and he went for it. It could be anything. But based on where you are watching, conclude that this person is on a call. Really? How can you come to that conclusion that this person is on a call immediately? Think about it. Think about it, guys. Now, let's say you are not assuming that this person is somehow implicated, like Candace Owens wants her fans to assume, or at least that's the perspective she wants them to be looking at this clip, looking at it from the perspective of, Mikey is part of the whole conspiracy. Let's say you are not looking at it from that perspective, but you are watching this unfold, watching this clip and watching this reaction from this guy that Candace is about to ruin his life anyway. Watching this, and you see this person immediately after a shot just rings out, put his hand up immediately. Are you going to suspect that person is on a call? Let's say you are in that situation. Are you going to, even if you are trying to dial somebody's number, and as soon as you dial the person's number, the shot rings out, are you going to put the phone to your ear? Are you going to cut it? Are you going to end the call immediately and be like, you know what, I need to get out of here? Because I don't even know what the hell is happening. What do you think is a more reasonable, likely reaction to what is explanation to what we are seeing right now? Is this an immediate knee-jerk reaction to, okay, a shot just rings out and I'm running out of the area? You can see him move out immediately. What do you think is going on here? Is it that this person is on a call or this person is running away? Who gets on a call in this kind of situation? Here's another thing. Let's say this guy knows that Charlie is going to be shot. Let's say he has prior knowledge of this. And he's going to be this close to the person that is about to be shot. What if the shooter, like if I know somebody is going to be shot, somebody is about to be killed, I'm not, and it's through, gunshot, I'm not going to be very close to that person. I'm going to be, as reasonably far away from the person as possible. Be like, what, I don't want to be within how many radius? I'm going to be, look at how close they are. I'm not going to be this close. I'm going to be this far. I mean, look at, he's behind the camera. If the shot does not get to him, it gets to this guy. Like there's so many people around that it could hit. And if there was a second, if a second shot is about to ring out, and I'm just going to be this close. Do you understand what is going on here? So every possible explanation that she's given is just, this is supposed to be weird. This is supposed to be suspicious. This is supposed to look unusual. But I'm like, what exactly is unusual here? Except that you want your audience to, you've already tainted their mind and made them believe that, okay, there's something unusual here. Now spot it. And I'm going to tell you it is unusual. And you're going to be like, yeah, it is unusual. But there is nothing unusual here. In fact, we don't even know what we are looking at. This does not demonstrate anything. Nothing. This grainy footage you are showing us of this individual with his hand on his neck, as into his ear, does not show that he's on a call or he's doing anything. You've not demonstrated that this guy was on a call. You've not.
So when this clip was brought, there we go. We're tracking that.
Now notice something else. Let's go back. Let's go back to that. Sorry. Okay, let's go back to that.
So when this clip was brought,
let's go back to that. Pause. Notice something. Let's play it.
There we go.
I don't even know how to slow this down a little bit. But let me do my own investigation. This is Frank Steven in the investigation. Let's look at the clip. That is not how you hold a phone. Look at that. That does not, look at the way his hand is shaped. It does not look like somebody who is holding the phone. Someone who is on a call will be like this. You will see the phone, the shape of the phone in his hand. You don't see anything like that. Like, I don't know, sorry, I'm doing this whole Candace Owens style investigation here, but you don't see anything. Maybe it's somebody who is adjusting an earpiece or somebody who is adjusting his glass or whatever. But it doesn't look like he's on the phone. Because that's not how you hold a phone.
There we go. We're tracking that. Yeah, when the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a file. I have a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it. And he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number.
What phone?
Speed dial, hold down one. I don't know. Maybe we missed it. Because that seems automatic, right? 0.834. That seems pretty quick. And no, he doesn't do that. We even have him in front of Charlie's car. When Charlie is brought to the car, the waiting car rather, he is still on the phone. And I can show you the clip of that. Take a look at this. Don't worry, we'll slow it down for you. See him in the background with the back.
Where is he? Maybe I'm dumb. Let me see.
This. Don't worry.
Where is he?
We'll slow it down for you.
Where is he? Where is he? How did you? Who is the person we are supposed to be looking at here? I just paused the frame. Who exactly? What are we supposed to be looking at? Is that somebody on a phone?
See him in the background.
What are we looking at? What am I supposed to look out for? Guys, help me out here. What exactly am I supposed to look out for?
The backpack. It's Mickey McCoy. Okay.
What am I supposed to be? What is there? What did we? Evidence, ladies and gentlemen. evidence. This is their dancing Israeli clip. This is that they were a bunch of Israelis dancing on a rooftop during 9/11. This is their dancing Israeli clip. What does this prove? How do you tell from that footage that guy was on a phone call? How do you tell that what was to his ear was a phone? How could you tell anything from that footage? Absolutely nothing. But if you suggest it, the power of suggestion, if you suggest it, your viewers who trust you completely are going to look at it and say, yeah, it's true. See the phone. See the phone. Doesn't that look like a phone? And you're like, come on. Where is the phone? Where is the phone? Where is the phone? What can you make out from this clip that we are watching? What exactly are you expecting us to see? Nothing.
So what are we to make of that? The only logical conclusion that I can come up with, and many others.
Exactly. See, somebody pointed out rightly. J White Podcast pointed out, make Candace Owens prove that we are looking at Mikey. Exactly. Make her prove. In fact, make her prove. Let us ask her to prove that what he was holding to his ear was a phone. Let us make her prove that. Let her prove to us that there's something actually being held to the ear to begin with. She can't even prove that. Like, prove that, Candace. Other than to just suggest it and say it is happening in. Come on. And people are very, like, people who are invested in this story, people who are really, really invested in this story are going to believe this. Nothing is going to change their mind. Absolutely nothing is going to change their mind. People who are invested. By the way, I want to highlight the super chat from John. John, my able moderator, John the man, said, if you support Brother Frank and enjoy his work, please show your support if you can through super chats. Buy him a coffee, etc. It matters a lot. Yes, 100%. In fact, let me leave this here so everybody can keep looking at it. I did not say clear it. I mean, leave it there. Anyway, what was I? All right. Moving on.
Because I pressed, I said, play devil's advocate. I want you to advocate for Mikey McCoy. I want you to play.
Let me advocate for him. Where is the proof that I'm holding my phone to my ear? Where is the proof that the person you just highlighted in that clip is actually me? What proves any of the claim you are making? You've not demonstrated that I am the person. In fact, you've not demonstrated that I am the one there. You've not demonstrated that I'm holding a phone to my ear. You've not demonstrated that in the second clip you just showed that it is still me there, still holding a phone to my ear. You've not demonstrated anything. That is the best case for Mikey McCoy. That is his best. That's the best case for him. Okay? You've demonstrated nothing. You've shown us nothing.
Lawyer, and you are representing your client, Mikey McCoy. What was he do? How did he do it this quickly? No one could win this game. The only logical conclusion we come up with was that Mikey was already on a phone call.
No one can win which game? Candace, what game? What game can no one win? What game? What game are you talking about? You are suggesting that there is a game. You are suggesting that there is a phone call going on. You are suggesting so many things, but you've not even proven them. If I'm his lawyer, I would say, in fact, let's say you bring this clip, which of course will not even be admissible evidence because I don't even know what it's supposed to demonstrate. But let's say you show it to the jury and you're like, look at this is Michael. This is Michael, the person I'm accusing, the accused. Yeah, he is on a phone call. Look at that clip. That is a phone call. I'm going to bring a video analyst as my witness and then tell him, what do you make out from this? What do you figure out from this? What does this in any way suggest that he has his phone to his, he's holding a phone to his ear and he's making any calls? It doesn't. You don't even need to address the point because it's not even a point worth addressing, Candace. You are making nothing. It makes nothing. You've not made any case. You are throwing an accusation without making any case for it.
At 12:23 p.m. By 12:23 p.m. he was already on a phone call. So I said, let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone and begin a call before the shot takes off. And then after beginning that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot. And we were able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here.
We're all priceless.
You see Mikey's on his phone
Okay,
here.
he's on his phone.
And you're going to see he pulls it up and he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a guess here. That's what made the most sense to us because we couldn't justify it in any other way. And I want to be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay?
I love this woman. You have been making assumptions. In fact, this whole segment is one big assumption, one big giant assumption, and then you in the middle just put in the statement, we're not here to make assumptions. You are not making assumptions. Of course, Candace is not making assumptions, but she knows her audience will be making assumptions. That's why she's showing all this. That's why she's showing Mikey with his phone, being on his phone. We don't even know if he's making call. It means he's pressing his phone. He has his phone up. He's holding his ear. Meaning, and by the way, the hand that is holding his ear, not holding the phone, is the same hand holding his ear while he was walking. And holding the ear is proof that you are on a call. Not that maybe you are listening to something, or maybe you are monitoring something, or you are doing something. It's just proof that you are on a call. Somehow Candace can see what is happening and can tell for a fact that you are on a call because you are holding your ear. Why? Powerful stuff. But let's even agree with Candace that this person was on a call. Let's agree that he was a call before, during, and after the whole thing. Let's say he was on a call. Let's say he was on a call. What does that prove? What does that prove? Let's say you finally convince us, Candace, that this guy was on a call, was calling someone. What does that prove? Nothing. It proves nothing. It is not. This is an insignificant fact to be debating because it proves nothing. As far as you don't know who he is calling, it proves nothing. And if you find out that he was speaking to his father, it still proves nothing. It proves absolutely nothing. You're not making any case. Jay is asking if he can get my email. Is on my you know what, I'm going to post it here and then I'll delete it right after. But it's publicly available. My email is publicly available. So let me just write it here and then later I'll delete it. Let me see. Energy perspective at gmail.com. So here it is. You can see it in the live chat. That is my email. It's there, but I'll delete it maybe after like a minute or so. But there it is. Anyway, so back to what I was trying to say, which is if we grant Candace Owens the point that she's trying to make, it proves nothing. It means nothing. It is meaningless. So why is she bringing this up? Maybe we'll get to it.
And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA could just tell the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything. Okay, I obviously went...
Who in Turning Point USA is not telling the truth? Who in Turning Point USA? Now, she's not... Of course, you see, here's the trick. When she wants to make accusation, it's no longer an individual. It's now Turning Point USA. Now, she's not saying Michael or Rob is lying. Instead, she's saying Turning Point USA is lying. Who is Turning Point USA? Who exactly? Because there's nobody who walks around. I don't know of any person who was born many years ago, that goes by the name Turning Point USA. If you want to accuse Michael of lying, which, by the way, he has not even made any claim or any count. In fact, he has not responded to anything you said whatsoever. If you want to accuse him of lying, you say he's lying. If you want to accuse his father of lying, you say his father is lying. That is what you are supposed to say. But when you want to make accusation of people lying, it becomes Turning Point USA. But don't worry, we'll get to one person that Candace is going to accuse directly of lying. So let's keep watching.
Out to both Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvett for a statement. Ask those two questions. Hey, who were you on the phone with? What's going on here? No response.
Why are they going to respond to you, Candace? Candace, why will any of them respond to you? Like, why will any of them respond to you? Why? They already see you as a crazy person. Why would they respond to you? You've already, like, this is the same thing that she did with, this is the same thing that she did with Seth Dillon. She has already gone out of her way to demonize him, called him Judas, called him a backstabber. And then, during this whole thing, she sends him a text message and then was like, why wouldn't Seth Dillon respond to me? Seth Dillon is known to respond to people quickly, and then he doesn't respond to me. Why will Rob or his son respond to you about some ridiculous nonsense about a phone call? Why do they owe you that? Why? It's very interesting. Anyways, let's keep listening.
Weird. Because if that was me and I saw clips going viral and people were drawing conclusions from that clip, thinking that I was already on the phone, thinking that my reaction was weird, I would instantly hit back.
You are a liar, Candace. You are a very big liar. You know, unlike you, I'm not somebody who is going to hide. Candace, maybe you don't know this. I want to give you something that has been going out, that is out there. People have been talking about it, okay? And this is not me being even sarcastic. This is facts. Not facts of what is being said, but facts about the fact that people are talking about it, okay? It is out there. It has been out there for a very long time, and you have not responded to it. Candace, it has been going out there that your husband is a closeted homosexual, and that you... Of course, Candace is not going to, because, and fair enough, she's not supposed to respond to this. But it's just, if you are going to claim that any person who is accused should run forward and, you know, refute the claim, why have you not gone forward to refute vehemently this claim that your husband is a homosexual?
Say, here's my call log. You want to know who I was on the phone with? 911, obviously. I was freaking out. I called 911. I didn't know what I was doing. Here's my phone. Here's my whole call log for that day. But this is, I don't know. I guess we live in a world where that doesn't make sense.
Any person in Tony, Rob and his son, don't respond to Candace. Just ignore her. Ignore her. Ignore her. It will pay her more, and she's going to roll and gravel on the floor and spew, you know, just foam at the mouth in front of her audience and say, why are they keeping quiet? Yes, look. For Candace Owens, you are damned if you talk, if you are damned if you don't talk. Our advice, you don't say anything. Just ignore her. Pretend like she doesn't exist. Pretend like she does. Act like she doesn't exist. Okay, like she's inconsequential, because she is. Even though she's trying to ruin your life. And I know that's kind of difficult. You want to get out there and do what she's saying that you should do, but just ignore her. Ignore her. She's noise, white noise. Ignore. Okay, ignore. Because this is not a serious person. Ignore. Because once you say something like, I think, like the Jay White podcast, like what he said it is a bait. If Turning Point USA addresses her, they risk breaking the gag order. So either way, she wins. Of course, which is something important that he's bringing up there, which is the fact that there is a gag order, and everybody involved in the investigation, or who is a part of this investigation, is not supposed to say anything to any other person other than the authorities. And then she's wondering, why is nobody saying something? Why are you not releasing your phone record or whatnot? Of course, nobody's supposed to listen to you or even respond to you. Candace Owens, I know how narcissistic you are sometimes is you know, extraordinary and unbelievable. But sometimes just calm down and realize that you are not the authorities. You are not the FBI. You are not the police. Okay, you are neither of those things. And nobody owes anything to you. Nobody owes you and your fan base an explanation, or the world, whoever it is. You know, you always talk like you represent the world. The world will want to know. Yeah, even if the world wants to know, it doesn't mean I should let them know. Okay?
I would have issued a statement to dispel any rumors, but they have not. Here's what I want to say, and I honestly understand I'm preaching to the choir here. Everything about this is wrong. You know it, and I know it. But I actually know it better than most, because I helped build that organization. And that's why I am almost the perfect person to discern what is normal and what is abnormal in terms of what happened at that college campus event. In fact, when I did my tribute to Charlie, this is unbelievable. All
right, before she goes and shows someone else some nonsense picture. Anyway, it's not nonsense, but unnecessary picture. Do you see the game? Do you see the Candace Owens game? This is the bigger game. Everybody is a liar. I am the perfect person to know. I have the truth. I know the truth. That is the game. Don't trust any other person. Trust me. Candace Owens is building a cult. because that's how cult leaders behave. Don't trust any other person. They are all lying. Like Muhammad, like Muslims. The Bible has been corrupted. The Torah has been corrupted. The Gospels have been corrupted. Muhammad got it right. Listen to him. We cordially went our separate ways for, public reasons, reasonable public reasons. But whatever it is, even though I was kicked out of the organization, or kind of not kicked out, just led out of the organization, even though that happened, but trust me, I would know. Only I know, and only I am speaking out. Everyone else is quiet. Everyone is quiet. Listen to me. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Trust me. I am the authority. I am the one saying the truth. Trust me. This is cult-like behavior. Okay? This is cult-like behavior. BT is saying that the video is freezing a ton. I don't know if everyone else is experiencing the same thing that he's pointing out. If they are, let me know, because everything looks perfect from this side. Am I buffering? Am I still buffering? Sorry, I just saw this. But everything is looking like internet, everything excellent. I can show you if you want me to. But everything is looking perfect this side. I don't know why I will be buffering. But let me know if I'm still buffering. Let me know. All right.
Remember, just after he died,
then we'll listen to her tell us, some interesting story of why she's the one you should trust. And this is the story.
I posted a video to my friend Charlie Kirk, and I shared a clip of him at a college event, and he and I were laughing, and I'm going to show you that clip in a second. And I said, I don't even know which college this is when I showed the clip, because I didn't know what college it was. And unbelievably, it was UVU. I kid you not. Let's rewatch that clip.
Yeah. And this is supposed to prove something, but whatever that it is supposed to prove, we don't know. We don't know what it is, but it's supposed to prove something. The fact that this video from way back when, okay, is supposed to prove something. And coincidentally, this video was taken at UVU. It's supposed to mean something. What is this supposed to mean? We don't know, but it means something, guys. It means something.
Wealthy, white, and male, Charlie Kirk is not your friend. What do you think?
Are you not my friend anymore?
Are we not friends?
Is
that right?
Find out? Is Tom going to find out? A sign outside of a thing, an event that we just did, that you're not my friend?
Go figure.
It's unbelievable that of all the clips we picked that, and I had no idea it was UVU. The point is that I hit college campuses with Charlie Kirk for 6 years. I don't believe that there is a single living, breathing person who has spoken at more college campuses alongside Charlie Kirk than me. So I knew that things were weird when I saw first and foremost, the camera guy, the one who takes down the camera. Seeing him lingering alongside Charlie at the event flagged me as weird immediately. Okay?
Jay said, I doubt that it was at UVU. Prove me wrong. You can't prove Candace wrong. You have to take her word for it. Every other person needs to prove everything they say, but Candace can just say it, and everyone should take it as facts, okay? No questioning of Candace Owens. She should know she's one of the masons, okay? She built it. She's the bricklayer. She was carrying the building blocks, laying the cement, carrying the wheelbarrow with a hard hat on. She was doing everything. She had the whole green safety vest on. She had the helmet on. She had the shoes on. She was brick by brick building Turning Point USA. So you don't get to question her. But every other person, question them, okay? She would know. She would know.
That's why I reached out when people saw him taking down the camera. I said, what is this? Why are you here? Literally, why are you standing next to Charlie? I've never at any college event ever in 6 years had that man standing next to me at an event, okay? Sometimes he wasn't even there. Other times, of course, when you are in AV, your job is to be somewhere quiet. Your job is to have on headphones to make sure the audio is good. Maybe the idea that they're miking, the person running a company is miking you up is completely absurd. I didn't like it. It felt new to me. And you know what? When I called him, things got pretty weird. He acknowledged that a lot of new stuff was happening on that day. And I inquired to him immediately about the subtle changes that I recognized. And the thing that struck me as wrong was that he lied to me. I don't know why he was lying to me, but a lot of the things that he said didn't make sense. And I'm going to speak more thoroughly about what it was that he said, because obviously I recorded.
Now, I don't know if this conversation actually took place, but she claimed that, she recorded it. And I don't know why, instead of just telling us, playing the recording for us to hear, she's going to tell us what happened and then wait for the camera guy to say, no, it did not happen. And then she's going to release the recording and then be like, you see, this is what happened. And of course, if the camera guy is smart enough, I think he has said enough. That is, if indeed he actually spoke with Candace Owens. I think the camera guy has said enough. I don't know why the camera guy why Candace Owens has his number, why she's calling him, and why he's speaking and even engaging in conversation with her. I don't know. Is that the person who is paying your bills? Why are you speaking with this person? I don't know. I don't know why that should be going on, but fine. If that happened, according to Candace Owens. Now, we don't have proof of it. So, of course, the Mason of Turning Point USA is telling us what happened. So we have to take her word for it. And she said the camera guy was lying. He says, the camera guy told her that something weird was going on, that this is not usually what happened during campus tours. And this is not usually what happened. Of course, that day somebody got shot, but let's ignore that. That something that don't used to happen happened. But everything afterwards was also, this is ridiculous. Somebody got shot. And everything afterwards is kind of not what you expect. In fact, it's what protocol? Do you have a protocol? Do people who organize these events on college campuses, do they have a protocol for what happens if if the main speaker gets shot? You're like, oh, there's this protocol. And, nobody understands what is going to go on. Everybody's kind of doing whatever. They don't even know what to do. There is confusion all over the place. People are acting in different ways, doing different things. They don't even know what exactly they are doing. And you're like, why is this person doing like this? Why is this person acting like this? This is suspicious. Everything is suspicious. Somebody went left when they should have gone right. Suspicion. Somebody stood up when they should have stayed down. Suspicion. Somebody sneezed. Even a sneeze is like a suspicion at this point. Like, why would someone sneeze after somebody just got shot? Claire, to clarify your sneezing, does that prove something? I remember when they were pointing out that Frank Turek, because he was scratching his neck and something, was like, oh, look at that. That is suspicious. What is that telling us? Was he signaling to somebody that he should target? Come on. Calm down. But the camera guy is supposed to give you an explanation. And maybe he's even scared, worried that he's going to lose his job, wondering what exactly he's supposed to tell you. But this is proof that, somehow there is an internal conspiracy going on, because you allegedly spoke with the camera guy and the guy lied to you. You've not given us you said you recorded the call, but instead of leading with the recording, you rather, just say what happened and then wait for the camera guy to say, it didn't happen like that. And then you're going to release the recording and say, you see, gotcha. Or you're expecting to say something because you fail to recognize that. In fact, why is the camera guy talking to the camera guy? Why is he talking to you, especially when you consider that there is supposed to be a gag order and he's not supposed to speak because he was present at the scene of the crime and he's potentially part of the investigation? Why is he talking to you? I hope he has been fired already from Turning Point USA, because if that camera guy can do something as ridiculous as talking to Candace, he's not supposed to be working in that organization.
The phone call. I, of course, asked him why he took down the cameras so quickly. I asked him to, first and foremost, simply show me the footage, because that's all I wanted to do. I'm thinking, again, we're all going to get the band back together and solve this murder. And he got weird. He got really weird. I said, I just want to see the footage so I can debunk. I know that you don't want to put more footage out there. That's fine. But just show me the footage so I can debunk all.
He doesn't want to show it to you. There is no bigger conspiracy. I don't want to show it to you. Why? Because I don't like you. We don't like you over here. You are persona non grata over here. We don't like you. Okay? How about that? How about, I'm not going to show you the footage because I don't want to show you the footage. Oh, no, I don't want to show it to you. And she's like, oh, later on you went and showed it to CNN. Well, yeah, I wanted CNN to see it. I don't want you to see it. Okay, so what? Proof. What does that prove? Are you the police? Are you the FBI? Who are you? Who exactly are you that we are supposed to show you this footage?
Internet conspiracies that you were hiding something. I was not suspicious of Turning Point at all. actually, when I called. And I asked him again, like, what's the reason? What's the reason for taking down the cameras quickly? Why hasn't the footage been released? Let me see it. And he told me that he had spoken only to Erica and the feds that he had regarding the footage. That is, he specifically told me that, as I said earlier, that he had secured that footage because he wanted to prevent Erica, as I told you, from having to relive that moment.
Here is another thing, very interesting thing that just came to my mind. If Candace wants to see the footage and she believes that she can get the footage, is the person that she's supposed to call not Erica? Like, if I'm really close to these people, because I've been in this, I don't know how it happens abroad, but let me give you an example. In my church, I'm one of the leaders in my church, right? So, not really a leader. Let me caveat that a little bit. I'm a worker in the church, not a leader. Okay, I'm not a leader. I'm a worker in my church, right? Now, I'm very close to the pastor. Like, not the general overseer, but the resident pastor. I'm very close to the resident pastor of the branch that I attend. Right? Now, there are sometimes, I also work in the media. So there are sometimes we have a media idea, and I feel like it is getting delayed. And I want it to move fast, for example. I just speak with I call our resident pastor, we chat, we have like a brief conversation about what is going on and how our lives has been, we catch up and all whatnot. And during the conversation, I kind of suggest, look, I have presented this idea, or there's this thing that is going on and it's kind of slowing. Can you help me talk to those who are in charge? You gotta kind of help me talk to those who are in charge if they can fast track this. And then she was like, oh, thank you for bringing this to my notice. And then she calls the right person and then it gets fast tracked, right? In the same vein, you want to get the footage. You know who the CEO of Turning Point USA is. That is Erica. Why don't you just call her? Okay, why don't you just call her and say, look, I'm trying to get this footage. I want to refute this. And this camera guy is, stonewalling, if that applies in this situation. He's kind of just, putting me on hold. He's not forthcoming. Can you help me talk to him so that he can send this to me? I think that is kind of how this is going to go. And once Erica has given Erica knows who she's going to reach out to, and that person is going to reach out to the cameraman who's part of the organization, and then you're going to get your clip, and that is that. If you are going directly to the cameraman, it means you don't have access to Erica. Because Erica is a surer way to get those footage. Because she's part of the organization. It is her organization. She cannot give an order and say, this must be done. This must be delivered to Candace Owens ASAP. And her employee will say no. So why are you going to the employee? Is that how this operates in an organization where you are an employee and then you are going to, somebody outside of the organization is going to make a request to you, and then somehow you're obligated to give that person respond to the request of the person without meeting those who are, above you and getting confirmation from those who are above you. Like, oh, you can go ahead and give this to this person or whatever. It's just going to be that. And why doesn't she just go to the right, like go directly to those who are in charge at Turning Point USA? Why go through corners, like we say in Nigeria? Why go through corners? Why not go straight to Erica? And if you have not gotten the footage, instead of coming to us and complaining and crying, why not go to Erica? I mean, is what I'm saying ridiculous? Let me know, guys. Maybe I'm talking as a Nigerian. Maybe this is not part of due process. Let me know, guys. Let me just know if what I'm explaining right now does not apply in the West. Let me know.
And that made entirely no sense to me. I told you guys, because we all can watch Charlie Kirk be murdered over and over and over and over and over again. So how are you sparing any emotions here by taking down the back footage? And then it made even less sense to me and appeared to me as a lie once I saw the footage on FaceTime, when I realized that there was no blood on Charlie. So it was the least traumatizing.
So according to her, the footage does not show any blood on Charlie, even though the one we saw showed blood pouring out of Charlie's neck. Well, she saw a FaceTime. Let's take her word for it. Maybe it showed a different angle where there was no blood, no visible blood. So who knows?
Footage of all. Why be so secretive about it? He then told me that he needed to speak with Turning Point lawyers first to see about releasing the footage. I said, okay, fine. I let him take a couple of days off, and then we got back on the phone.
Those lawyers, are they not the people you should be talking to? Why are you talking to the camera guy? Like, the lawyers that he's talking to, are they not the ones you should be going to? The people in charge, are they not the ones you should be going to? Why go? Like, if I run an organization or I run a company and you need a particular information, and instead of meeting the appropriate authority, you go and meet the gate man and you are harassing the gate man to give you information. And if that gate man gives you any information, he's going to get fired. Not because I want to be secretive, but because you should have come to the appropriate authority. Come to me. Come to those who are in charge in the organization, those who respond to requests from the public. The cameraman is not that guy. I don't think Turning Point USA is like some whatever organization where anything goes. Why don't you go to the appropriate authorities? And by appropriate authorities, I mean those who are in charge, those who if they tell the cameraman, give him the footage, he's going to listen to them because those are people who pay his salary. Those are people he work for.
And I said, look, that's kind of a BS excuse too, because you run your own company and the footage is owned by you. He then said, okay, yeah, I do own the footage. I just wanted, just coordinate, check, whatever.
Yeah, he runs his own company. He owns the footage, but he was hired. Okay, so this person does not work for Turning Point USA. This is a private, this is an organization that was privately contracted. But he doesn't really own the footage because the person who owns the footage are those who hired him. Or is this the press? Is this like somebody who works for the press coming to no, this is a private company that, it's not like this, not part of Turning Point USA. It is a no. They cannot just release the footage to you because it is theirs. It also belongs to someone else other than them. Some of the things you're saying, Candace, does not make sense. Let's assume, okay, like she's claiming here is that this is a different company. This is not Turning Point USA. It is a private company. I believe that private company was contracted to cover the event, right? That is the case here. This private company was contracted. Still, it doesn't mean that you contacting them will mean they will just release the footage to you because they own the footage. It is their camera. No, it belongs to their employer, the people who called them to cover the event. It belongs to them. It's like you going to let's say, it's like you want a picture from my wedding, and then you go to the cameraman who covered the wedding, or you go to the video person who covered the wedding and said, well, it is your camera, it is your property, send it to me. Why? Because you are the FBI? Or is that CIA that you are calling yourself? Is it really, are you really starting to believe it?
Okay. Kind of a lie number 2-ish. Then he said something that really bothered me. He said, I don't know how to send the footage. Like the file was too large. Oh, I was born yesterday. So you run an entire AV company and you don't know how to send footage. That didn't smell right to me. It got even more bizarre. He told me, and this is when I was extremely uncomfortable. He said, after I offered, you can just use WeTransfer. He said, I don't want to just send the footage over the internet that's behind Charlie's head because I'm worried that Google might hack me.
Candace, if everything you are saying is true, the point, in case you don't understand what is going on, he doesn't want to send the footage to you. And instead of being upfront about it, he's giving you excuses. It doesn't mean that he's hiding something. Candace, think for a second. Just you and your audience, I'm getting a bit frustrated now, but I'll try not to be. Think for yourself. Just try and think for yourself. If he has footage that are incriminating, that shows something, that proves your point, whatever, the feds already have it. Okay? The prosecution have it. And in a case like this, okay, in a criminal case like this, anything the prosecution have, they will share with the defense. Okay? The people who are trying to exonerate what is it called? Tyler Robinson, his defense, who also have access to every information that the prosecution has, right? The prosecution cannot just withhold information from the defense. Okay, we need to know everything so that we'll know how we'll prepare our defense. That's kind of how it works. So you're not hiding anything. Now, they are not showing it to you, but every relevant evidence, every relevant piece of evidence is in the right hands. The hands of the FBI and whoever is prosecuting this, and the hands of the defense, whoever will be defending Tyler Robinson. And trust me, Tyler Robinson's lawyers they will want him to go scot-free. They will want to exonerate him. It would be huge for them if they could get an acquittal for Tyler Robinson. It would be huge for their career. Trust me, they have more reasons to come up with theories that will show that the defense doesn't have it, that the prosecution does not have a case. Okay? Because they have more incentive than you. You are driven by craziness, but they are driven by career ambition and a lot. Okay? It will be huge for them. If they can defend Tyler Robinson and get him off the hook, okay? Do you know what that will mean for their legal practice? It will mean a lot. So trust me, they want to win this case. Except you believe that maybe, the Jews are also part of his defense attorney, whatever. But let's assume that is not the case. His defense will want to get him off the hook. So as they are getting every information that the prosecution have, they'll be willing to tear the prosecution's case apart and cast doubt on everything that the prosecution wants to throw at their client. Okay? So calm down. Allow the legal process to run its course. Afterwards, we have all this conversation. You don't have to keep harassing the camera guy and his company. You don't have to keep harassing them. Okay, what you are doing is harassment. You are harassing them. And I don't know why they keep picking your call as if they owe it to you. I don't know. In America, can't you people block people's number? Like, just block their number that they will not be able to call you. Like, just block it. It's that simple. I don't understand why the camera guy feels the need to keep entertaining Candace Owens. Just block her number instead of or maybe he's having fun with her. Maybe he's just having fun with her. She calls today and he tells her one story. She gets angry. He calls again. Like, he calls again and he tells her another story. He's just having fun with her. But, maybe that is what is happening. But a better way to deal with this is just to block this person. This person is not. Let her go and cry to her fans that you blocked her. Okay, let her go and cry to them. What would they do? Come to your house. Any of them that try it, they get arrested.
I swear, on everything I love, that's what he told me. He was afraid that Google was going to hack him. So at this moment, I got a little bit, I looked at my team and I started snapping across the table and I was like, I said to them, literally, guilty of something. I don't know. This is weird. What a stupid.
No, he's not guilty. The only thing he's guilty of is lying to you. He's not, he doesn't want to send you the footage. Simple. The question is why? And I think why is because maybe he has been told not to. And instead of just telling you off and saying, you know what, please stop disturbing me, he's lying to you. And I don't know why some people do it. Now, it may be that he's hiding something, but it may also be this that I just explained to you, that he doesn't know how to tell you, peace off, I'm not sending you anything. Stop calling this number. I'm not going to send you anything. Okay?
Lie. I mean, what do you mean just Google? So I said to him, let's just pretend that does happen. For whatever reason, Sergey Brin is sitting around and he's going, I want to hack this person because I want to see footage behind Charlie's head. Does it. Whatever. And then he gives the footage to Fox News, CNN, and they play it. And what happens after that? I said to him, I know what happens after. We all get to see Charlie Kirk die from a different angle. We've seen it die from 1,000 different angles. Like, what is actually changing if Google hacks you? Weird. A weird thing to say. I also asked him who he was on the phone with after Charlie got shot. And he told me, and I kid you not, he was on the phone with the ops that were back in Arizona watching. And I said, what ops? We don't have people back in Arizona watching when we do college campus events. Is that something new? He said, yes, it is new. In fact, this was the first time we were doing it. He said there were two ops that were watching it back in Arizona. And he told me that the reason that they were doing it was because, Candace, he said, Charlie, he was so ambitious and it wasn't fast enough that it was all being live streamed. He wanted people to live cut the clips so that they could be the first people to get it on the internet. He didn't want to, he's like, not even a second to be wasted. So live streaming, which everybody can watch, but they were racing some people to get the clips out faster than anybody else because Charlie's ambitious. Now, I got a little suspicious and he could sense that I was now growing increasingly suspicious with every random thing that he was saying. he sent me a video that I didn't ask for. I wanted to see the footage. He then sends me a video. And I guess this was supposed to work as some sort of an alibi. I don't know if he thought that I thought that he shot Charlie. I certainly did not think that he was involved in pulling a trigger and killing Charlie Kirk. I actually don't know why this video, I don't know, make me feel even more uncomfortable. Because the video he sent me is quite shocking. It's also the reason that I knew that Tyler Boyer was lying when he tweeted that this guy was commanded by the police to take down the cameras. He's lying because I have every minute of what this guy was doing, thanks to him having sent it to me, okay? Every minute of what he was doing before he took those cameras down. And there are only 4 minutes, by the way, before he takes those cameras down. So he's next to, and he is in front of Mikey McCoy when Charlie gets shot. Mm-hmm. Now, to his credit, he actually did see Charlie get shot. He saw, in like a split second, sees Charlie bleeding and runs, and doesn't run very far. He just runs a couple of yards away. Now, I should mention that the camera guy, he too was also brought into the company by Tyler Boyer, okay? And if you have worked with Charlie for this long, over a decade, and you watch Charlie Kirk get shot, what do you do?
Okay, I don't understand.
What would you do? I'm asking you this question at home. What would you do?
I don't know.
say 2 things that are pretty commonplace, right?
I don't know what I would do. Candace, nobody knows what they would do in situations like this. I don't know why you're asking your audience stupid questions. You imagine what I don't even understand. The beauty of having Candace Owens as somebody you listen to. She's asking you ridiculous. What will you do if someone you love gets shot? Someone you've worked for 10 years gets shot. I would not want to imagine that. How about that? How about I don't know what I'm going to do? No, anybody who gives you any answer is just an dishonest person, and it's either they know that they are being dishonest, or they don't know. Nobody knows how to react in that kind of situation. Nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows how to react in that situation. It is a confusing situation. People are running around. People are confused. People don't know what to do. Also, all this talk about the camera guy is lying. The camera guy was hired by whoever it is that she called. The camera guy is this. Okay, what does that have to do with anything? The camera guy is suspect. Something is going on. Okay, what does that have to do? The only thing for me, everything that she's saying just makes me go, they don't want to give you the footage. They are lying to you because they don't want to tell you the truth. They don't care about you. They don't value. In fact, I feel like they are wasting your time, and they want you to continue wasting your time. You know, maybe to them it is more amusing that way. I believe that. I believe strongly that that's probably what is going on. They're just making fun of you. They are like, who is this crazy? You know, I can imagine the camera guy, whenever you call, he's just going to tell the people he works with, like, the crazy woman is calling again. What do I tell her? And then you're like, you know what, let's tell her this crazy story. Tell her that you're not going to send the footage because, just tell her whatever. You tell her anything. Tell her you don't want to send the footage to her because Google is going to hack you. Tell her that you don't want the footage to get out there. Tell her whatever. Just tell her anything. And yeah, she's talking about, she said, now, here's another interesting thing. She said she told the guy to send her the footage. And then she said again that she has seen the footage. So which one is it? Have you seen the footage or not? If you have seen the footage, then why do you want it to be sent to you? You said you've seen the footage, and the footage from where you saw it, there is no blood coming out. Okay, so, like, why is that footage so important to you? Why is it so important to your case, that, you know, whatever case you're trying to build? Why is it so important? Why are you obsessed with it? What's the obsession with the footage? What is it going to reveal? You watched it. What did it reveal to you? What did you see that you say, okay, this is odd? You said there was no blood from the angle you saw it. Okay. You said there's no exit distance. Okay. You've seen all of that. All right. What else? What next? What does that show? The public needs to know what now? And can't you just see that nobody is taking you serious and nobody wants to engage with you? Nobody important is like, nobody who has important information. Nobody who has important information wants to have any form of conversation with you because they think you are unserious. You are not worth talking with. Now, that's if I was in your position, I would find it. If I was in your position, oh, I just noticed what was sent in the super chat. Sorry, Anya Omesi, I'm really sorry. Say, Frank, it is choppy. I think even YouTube has had enough of her. My signing off time. Please, if you sign back in, maybe you'll be able to hear me. Thank you so much for the £11. I've been told that's not euro, that's pounds. £11 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Please, if you can go out, like leave the video, leave your YouTube app or whatever you are watching from, and then come back again. Maybe to work properly. But from this side, everything seems to be normal. I don't think there is any problem whatsoever. BT said, I don't even know what BT is saying, but anyways. Okay, BT is saying, I refreshed, I'm back, and it's good. You see, it's not me, it's you. It's not me, it's you people. Anyway, Anya, please try and just, if you can go out and come back and see if it will be going out fine. I really enjoy having people like you on the live chat. Maybe you send more ties. Anyway, back to what Candace is saying. All this, something is going on. They're not telling me the truth. They're not forthcoming. This person was hired by whoever it is that hired the person, and this person is not forthcoming, blah, 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 blah. Therefore, they are hiding something. Maybe they are hiding something, and the person they are hiding it from is just you. Maybe they are not being forthcoming because they don't want to be forthcoming with you. Maybe you are the problem. Maybe the problem is not the information itself, but the person who is asking for it, which is you. Maybe that guy doesn't know how to respond to you. Maybe he just is finding a way to deal with you. You know, there are many other explanations. Have you considered that? Or are you too narcissistic to believe that the only reason why somebody will be lying to you is because something is suspect, that they are dangerously trying to hide from the world? Because any person who hides an information from Candace Owens is hiding an information from the rest of the world. Not just Candace.
You choose between fight or flight. You run towards him or you run away, and you run away far because you don't know what's happening. Is it one shot? Are there multiple people? Are you being pursued? There's no way to process that. If you are going to be in flight, you should be sprinting and maybe calling 911. That's what I would have done if I wanted to run away and not towards Charlie to make sure he's okay. But this second close friend of Charlie chose to run just a few yards away up to a grassy knoll to take out his phone. A couple of seconds later, he takes out his phone and he begins recording himself. It's a selfie video.
Who is this person? Who is this person now that is... who is this person that we are talking about? Is this the camera guy? He said he's a friend to Charlie. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe the camera guy is also a friend to Charlie, but let's listen.
A video of himself. So let's watch that video.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie.
Do you notice that some people who we are running, I don't know if you saw that, some people who we are running had their hands to their... Let me show you that so you guys can see it. Look at that. Look at one. I think it's the woman. Or was it the woman? Let me see. You see that person? Okay. That person had hands to the ear on a phone call, probably calling somebody or something. You can see other people with their phones out. You can see them running. Well, let us start doing Candace Owens conspiracy theory analysis. Who is that person calling? I want to know what everybody on the ground, who they were calling and what they were calling and why they were calling, and everybody's phone record who was present at the scene of this event. We want to see everything. We must see everything right now.
They just shot Charlie. He's dead. God help him.
Also, I don't even know who that guy is, but if anybody in the comment know who that person is, let me know. The person who, I don't know, because I thought that was the camera guy, but now she's saying a close friend of Charlie, but maybe it's the same person. But guys, if you have been following, let me know who the guy in the we just saw, who he's supposed to be and why that is supposed to be important. Let me know.
That's the first time it was announced, actually, that Charlie Kirk was dead.
Okay. Somebody saw it and saw what happened, was close to Charlie, close enough to see the shots, close enough to see how his body responded, close enough to speculate that the person, that Charlie was probably already dead. So what is that supposed to mean? What is this supposed to mean? What is this supposed to demonstrate? Indianapolis said the guy on the rock did act a bit odd. I would say that he might just be a weirdo though. People act different. Let me tell you something. When this kind of thing happens, people act in different ways. Like you don't know. Some people are thrown into, now when things like this happen, some people are afraid. Some people are afraid, so they run. Some people are confused. I've seen different reaction in events like this. Not like people getting shot, but something close. Where you just see people are confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to respond. They don't know how to act. So to just say, oh, this person is acting weird, therefore he's suspicious, is kind of common. So, nah. Let me see what others are saying. Who else? Nobody's giving me another explanation or telling me who the guy is and why he's important. I'm thinking that it's supposed to be the camera guy, but now I don't even know who that is. So you guys should tell me, is that the camera guy? Is that some person I'm supposed to know? Tell me. Join in the investigation of Candace Owens that I'm conducting. Send me tips at at buymeacoffee.com/NIG perspective. Go there and send me tips, okay? Anyways.
It's kind of weird. Go ahead, catch your breath, hit rewind, watch it again, watch it over and over again like I did, because you're probably...
And there's nothing I like more than the outrage, the fake outrage, the forced outrage. Like somebody is acting weird, and then because the person is acting weird, the person said something, and Candace is like, this is the most puts her face like, this is the most outrageous thing I've ever had. Like, can you just imagine? And I'm like, you cannot really be outraged by that. I feel you're just this is performative. Like, you're not angry. You're just feigning anger. Come on, really.
Thinking out loud, what the F did I just watch? What's going on? What were Charlie's closest friends and allies and the people that were going to carry on the torch doing? Picking up phone calls that they were already on, and filming themselves and prematurely announcing when not a single person could have known Charlie Kirk is dead. Less than a minute.
He speculated. Candace. He speculated. There's nothing. You said one of them was on a phone call. So what? The other person was taking videoing himself, saying in the video that he was taking that Charlie is dead, and you're like, can you imagine what these people are doing? Okay, and you are angered by it. Why? You are angry with the fact that people that were close to Charlie, one of them was on a phone call, and the other one was on a video saying that Charlie is dead before they could, before medical practitioners could declare him dead. Like, that is what is annoying you. That is why you are angry. Like, that is it. What is problematic about it? Okay, first of all, I would say, okay, that guy should not have said that because he's not a doctor. But I can understand why he would say that, because you claim that this person was close to Charlie when the shot entered his body. So from what he saw, he could say, this man, he's dead. It is understandable if he goes, Charlie's dead. Because he saw what just happened. And he believed nobody could recover from that. In fact, many people have said it, that when they saw the shot, that they were like, nah, there's no way this person is coming back from that. Maybe a miracle can happen, but from all indication. In fact, it has been said that he died on the spot. They rushed him to the hospital. It took them a while to confirm him dead, but he probably died on the spot. So what is the point there about saying, yeah, he's dead? And you are angry with it. Like, for me, it's like, okay, why exactly should any of this raise any red flag? Where is the red flag? Maybe I'm not. Please, guys, in the comments, help me in the live chat. Let me know what exactly is supposed to be annoying, outrageous, like suspicious? What in what we've seen should raise any form of suspicion, and what should that suspicion be? What should I suspect? As if I'm to suspect these two people that she just talked about, what should I suspect about them? What about them is suspicious, and what is the suspicion?
Declared dead. No instinct to run towards him. No instinct to run further away, maybe because you got to backtrack and go get the cameras a minute after this ends.
Oh, so he's the camera guy. Okay.
Is when he goes and gets the cameras, okay? Rather, let me record me and my reaction, which doesn't actually feel to me to be too distraught, okay? In fact, if this is one of those videos that made me so upset that I was like mad at other people, you know? Like I was like mad at Savannah. I saw Mikey McCoy's reaction. Now I'm looking at this guy's reaction. I'm like, Savannah, like one of the homies. I get assassinated. You film yourself. I get assassinated. You're talking about my succession plan. A couple of days later, I get assassinated. You're lying about little things about me. Everything Turning Point is doing is wrong. And you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong deep down. And I want to say this because there has been a lot of...
But I thought the camera guy does not work for Turning Point. But, it's just... Her information is already all over the place. What exactly is outrage? I am lost at this point. I am confused. What exactly should be making me angry? Like, I'm looking at it. I'm putting myself in the situation. I get shot. Everybody's going to be like, let me not put myself in the place of the person who gets shot. Let me put myself in the place of someone else, a friend of mine getting shot, because I will never be shot in Jesus' name. I will live to see my children's children. So I will not even imagine it. So let me imagine that someone else, some imaginary guy, call him John Doe, a friend of mine, popular, got shot, and I'm present. What will I do? I don't know. Let me tell you guys, I'm a pretty weird person when it has to do with tragedy. I have received news as in bad news of people dying, and my response differs depending on who the person is. I remember one time a friend of mine called me to tell me that their neighbor died, and that from all indication, this neighbor committed suicide. And she was telling me about it, and my response was, you have finally killed your neighbor. I said it and it was supposed to be a joke, and she laughed at it because she knows I'm that kind of person. I make those kind of morbid, dark jokes, and she's somebody who just finds my joke funny. So she just laughed at it. Now imagine that information becomes public, and then someone is like, why will you make that kind of joke? That shows that, you are suspect in the... Come on. That is how I behave. Like, I remember one time... I'm sorry, it's just how I behave. Maybe it's just something with me. I remember one time I went for a condolence visit, and many people were crying and it was a tragic death. The lady died in childbirth. She just gave birth and she died. She didn't make it, but I think the child survived. And people were crying. But I was just, when we were coming back from the condolence visit, I was criticizing a particular person who was crying. I was criticizing the way the person was crying. Like, that was all, but that was my takeaway. I was like, look at the way he was crying. Look at the way he was talking. And I was essentially just making fun of the person. And I was doing that actually to kind of lighten the mood, because when you are driving back from that kind of visit, you can always feel that tension in the air where everybody's like, So you want to kind of lighten it up. And that was what I was trying to do. And in doing that, I kind of just made some jokes that I would say, well, if the world is watching me, like as I was making those kind of jokes, they'll be like, this person is insensitive. But thank God I was making it in the midst of friends. And they understood that that's how I am, especially when I see that the mood is kind of dark. I try to lighten it with dark humor. Even if it can be too soon, but I don't care. Time is not I don't care about the time. A joke, I used to say, something is funny. It doesn't matter what you say it. If it's funny, it's funny. So I just make one or two jokes like that to kind of lighten the mood. Now imagine that somebody makes that kind of joke and Candace is aware of it. That is proof somehow that this person is being insensitive and this person does not care. And this is the reason why we should suspect that person. And this person is kind of suspect. And then her rabid fan base will be like, yeah, Candace, you have a good point. It is ridiculous. People react to tragedy however they want to react to it. It doesn't make them suspicious, especially when they have nothing to do with it. Like they essentially have nothing to do with it. They were not close by. They are not even a person of interest in the investigation. Nothing points to them. Nothing. They have no motive. Nothing. But for Candace Owens, it's just let us point our finger here. Why? I don't even understand.
Reading in between the lines, it's strange to me. I think I'm a very direct person. I say what I mean. And I do not want people to mistake what's happening right now or to wrongly assume my intentions here. So allow me to be very explicit, okay? Mm-hmm. I want war with all of you.
All of who?
Okay, all of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want more with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want more with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump.
Which part is not normal? Which part is not normal, Candace? Candace, which part is not normal? Which part? Which part? The part that somebody was filming himself and saying whatever he was saying. The fact that somebody was on the call according to you. What fact? What part of this is not normal? What part? What part is not normal? This woman is an interesting woman. This woman is so interesting. So interesting.
Into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. And I'm going to tell you guys, Charlie had a vision. We'll get to that after a few ads.
All right. Now she's about to sell us something. Now we are not interested. We are not buying. We are not buying, Candace. We are not buying. Is she done reading ads? Okay, she's not done. All right. Moving on. Oh, she's still reading ads. Moving on. YouTube Premium used to tell me where to jump ahead to, but they've changed. All right, I think...
That's justthrivehealth.com.
Shut up.
Do you know what's so funny to me is, I don't know, I feel like...
All right, before we go to all the things that she feels, let me take some super chats. The Jay White podcast said, Frank unalived his neighbor. Prove me wrong. Frank, show your location and call log. Scandal. Call Candy. Yes, I'm probably responsible for Charlie Kirk. If you dig a little deeper, maybe that neighbor I'm talking about is actually Charlie. You cannot... Are you sure? Ask that question. You're not even asking the right questions. What if that neighbor is actually Charlie? What if? There's something fishy here. We need to prod the narrative. Okay, we need to prod the narrative. We need to dig deeper. There is something suspicious going on. This is not normal. Okay, this is not right. Interesting. And I also want to acknowledge Victor for Christ for 200 Naira super chat. You didn't say anything. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's listen to more conspiracy theories from Candace Owens.
They are now steeped in psychology for toddlers. It's so obvious what's coming down the pipeline. The things, it's not appropriate to share private messages unless we do it. Unless we're up on stage talking about private conversations and making stuff up that definitely didn't happen. I think it was actually Pastor McCoy's speech. Charlie wanted me to lead the next movement. Charlie told me I'm America's pastor, he said. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he called you America's pastor. And so, yeah, I will be doing whatever I want to do until the truth is told about what happened on 9/10. We should start with Josh Hammer, by the way, because he really has now become the king of defying.
So for those who don't understand what is happening here, sometimes it is difficult to understand Candace Owens, but let me explain. Candace is about to share a private message that she had with Charlie Kirk. And then she's like, I know those, my critics are going to say, My critics are going to say that I am sharing private information and it's not appropriate to share private information, blah, 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 blah. But they are also sharing private information, private conversation rather. We are just sharing private conversations, claiming that Charlie said this to them and said that to them, and Charlie said this one to them and he said that one to them. Now, first of all, I would say that these people should not have been saying Charlie told me this and told me that, But fine. If Charlie says something to you, depending on the context, you want to, let's say, for example, you're giving a condolence speech, right? Like Charlie told me this. Charlie said this to me. And I can remember Charlie once said this to me. It's kind of okay to say it. And of course, people who are, saying all of this, I do not think they have nefarious intentions. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, whatever. But to kind of say, oh, they are doing it, but I cannot do it, I'm like, look, just go ahead and share the private information you want to share. Of course, you are going to use it to elevate yourself. Everybody who is sharing private information about Charlie is, not everybody, but many people who are doing it. Of course, the private information they are going to send is often the kind that says, of Charlie saying, I believe in you, I think I'm proud of you, you're a great person. Or the kind that says, buy this person's book. That's what you're going to be kind of using, which I think, honestly, I'll be honest with you, to an extent I agree with Candace, especially for self-promotion. When you're saying, when you are quoting a dead person to self-promote, to promote yourself, it's kind of, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you shouldn't use Charlie's name to promote yourself. It's not nice. Now, it doesn't mean anything that you're a bad person or whatever. Sometimes it just means that you don't know the appropriate time for something. You are doing something at the time that is not appropriate. That's kind of an interpretation that I would give to it, being generous. Just don't do it. People tend to do it, especially when it's somebody who has enough clout. Let's say if Donald Trump is assassinated tomorrow, people will be sending message of where Donald Trump was telling them you will do great things and you are the great man, you are America's future, whatever. And Candace Owens is about to do the same thing. And instead of just going ahead and doing it, she's like, they are going to say I should not do it, but I'm going to do whatever I want. Come on, you are one of them. You are just like them. You want to do the same thing that they are doing. All of you are all this. In this regard, not in every other regard. In every other regard, you are better than you. But in this regard, you're just like them. You are doing self-promotion. But Candace's self-promotion is the worst kind. Because people are quoting Charlie Kirk from like a month ago, or some from 2 days ago, some from 3 days ago. Charlie is going to go back as far back as 2018. 2018. How many years is that now? That's like 7 years ago. To find something that Charlie said and use it as proof of something. Just listen to her.
No stereotypes. Where we last left off, obviously.
All right, let's keep this part and get to it. I don't want to see the part of her just trying. Let's skip. Okay, here it is.
Shout out John Miller on X. He made...
She's still on the subject. Let's see. Is he here? Let's see. Maybe it's this part.
I concluded my prayer. I opened my eyes and I saw a massive bald eagle, and it just made me feel at peace. It's one of those moments where you just are in nature, you see something beautiful, and it makes you feel at peace.
Okay.
And then I felt the need to start going through messages and conversations between me and Charlie. And sure enough, I stumbled upon many messages of him telling me how he would die.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you some of those messages now.
Okay.
A particular set of messages that were written on April 6th, 2018, just a couple of weeks before Kanye tweeted, I love the way Candace Owens thinks, which is relevant because a lot of things changed after that tweet.
Okay.
And it's relevant because Charlie sensed that something big was about to happen.
Okay.
And I think that is what the something big was.
Okay.
I also want to say, obviously, I am not making up these messages. Okay.
Jesus Christ, get to the point.
True prophecy that I know in my gut. It's really sad, but I hope it's wrong.
Okay.
He went on to say, anyway, I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO. I said, that's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization. He said, I'm not really afraid of it. but I'm just telling you what I know to be true.
So this is a message from 2018, 7 years ago, where Charlie was saying that he imagined that. Let's go back to that message. I want us to look at the message again. Okay. He said, you're going to be the Iron Lady of America. I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses though. I might not see the whole thing through. If that is the case, be Mike David. I don't know which passage of the Bible Charlie was reading back then. Maybe he had not grown in the faith, but I just want to point out, that David was not the successor of Moses. It's Joshua, but it's Joshua. Be my Joshua is what she's saying. Okay, fine. Dude, you don't even realize your power yet. If I tell you the true prophecy I know in my gut, it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong. And then he goes on to say, anyway, I'm not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you are the peace God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of Turning Point USA, I knew in my God that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's distressing convo for another time. And then she replies, this is so weird. More a fear manifestation than an actualization. Then he said, really not afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. All right. This is one of those text messages that I read and I'm like, why does this guy send? I don't know. He's part of my generation, even a lot older than I am. So why does he send so many text messages? I don't understand the sending of text messages. Maybe it's an American thing. But I don't even WhatsApp. I don't send a lot of WhatsApp message. If I have to talk to you about, in fact, if I have this kind of thing going on in my mind, I would rather tell my wife about it than I would tell a random stranger. But maybe he was not married back then. Who knows? In fact, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, this kind of conversation is something that I'm like, but I'm like, maybe you say to somebody who you really have serious, deep, really, even if you feel there is like, if I feel there's somebody out there who is going to take over from me, okay, and I believe that, I'm going to die soon, and this is the person who is going to take over from me, I will tell you, I will not tell them. I'll probably tell my wife. The only person I'll probably tell about it is my wife and tell her that, look, if anything is to happen to me, let this person take over. But I will never tell the person, you're the one that is going to take over from me. One of the reasons also is that, that can give that person reason to want to kill me because it's like, I've been made, successor. But that is that. Second is, many of the, whenever Candace Owens shares a message from Charlie, not whenever, but this is one of those instances where Candace Owens shares a message from Charlie Kirk and it doesn't put Charlie Kirk in a good light. Instead, it puts him in a bad light. I mean, Charlie, you thought this crazy woman, this woman that started her public career by starting a doxing website, Social Autopsy, that the goal was to dox people, that didn't even make exception for children getting doxed. This is the person that you thought was going to take over from you. Are you insane? How blind can some people be? Like, how do you make friends with this person? And then you are telling the person that you feel she's the one that is going to take over from you. What the hell? What the hell? This just shows that Charlie's judgment of character is very poor. He has if this is true, if this text message is indeed real, it just shows that Charlie has a very poor judgment of people's character. Very poor judgment. Maybe he had it in 2018 and changed over time, but maybe that's the case. That in 2018, Charlie had a very, very poor judgment of someone's character that he thought Candace Owens that has been a grifter, let me not say grifter, but has been flip-flopping. Her political position has always been flip-flopping from the beginning of her career. She started out as a leftist. This lady sued her school, her high school, for racial discrimination and was awarded, I don't know if it was settlement out of court or if the court awarded her $30,000 in damages for racial discrimination. I don't know if it was in damages or if it was part of like an out of court settlement. But something like that was, in fact, I think it was a court judgment, yes. This was somebody who started social autopsy to dox people. And when people on the left were like, no, you can't do this, Candace, this is crazy. She went away, came back, rebranded herself as a conservative, and still had the website on until so much attention was brought to it that she had to bring the website down. And then when it was convenient, she flipped again. From being conservative to being, we don't even know, conspiratorial. She's just, I'm now centrist. Centrist with a touch of, conspiracy theorist with conspiracy theorists with a touch of centrism, because she's trying to appeal to both sides of the political spectrum, like left or right. This is not a left or right issue. Everybody should come together to help solve the murder of my very close friend. That is what she became. And this person is the person you thought was going to carry the baton when you are done. This is the person who is going to take over from you. This is your David or your Joshua. See, I want to pray for my audience. If you are watching this live stream, put your hand towards the screen. I'm about to pray for you. This is very important. Put your hand towards the screen. Let me make this very serious prayer for you. Father, Lord, please, as many as can hear the sound of my voice, Father, Lord, may they never have a friend like Candace Owens, in Jesus' name. Father, Lord, deliver them from any Candace Owens that is already in their life. Spare them, save their lives. May they never have friends like Candace Owens. In the name of Jesus, amen. I'm telling you, take that prayer say it with all your heart. Because there's nothing that can destroy somebody faster, destroy your reputation, destroy everything about you than having this kind of friend. With this kind of friend, you don't need enemies.
I am not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. I believe you were the piece that God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing combo for another time, LMAO. I said, that's weird, more of a fear manifestation than an actualization. He said, I'm not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. And he told me that. I don't know why. Charlie knew he was going to die young. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that because it is in part why the moment that Charlie got shot, I just knew he was betrayed spiritually. In the same way that Charlie knew that he was going to die young, I knew that this was a part of something bigger. And so I wanted to say to you guys, to the people that betrayed Charlie, I would recommend that you come clean, okay? I would recommend.
Again, from everything you've seen, who are the people that betrayed Charlie? She doesn't say. She has pointed to two people, the camera guy and Rob McCoy and his son, Mikey. But are they the people who, you see, here is the problem. She has not said anything. Now, those people cannot, like if you want to sue her for defamation, what is the defamatory statement that she has made? That you were on a call, or she suspected that you were on a call, that you filmed yourself and it looks weird and suspicious. She has not said you are the person who betrayed Charlie. That is the problem. But in the head of those who watch her, they make the connection. And that's a dangerous connection. It is. That is a very dangerous connection. Let me explain why it is very dangerous. I didn't plan to share this, so it may give me a while to bring it up. So just bear with me. So this is from Politico. And this is news from Politico. This happened, I think, last week. It said Florida charges Texas man over threats to Jewish conservative media figure. And the Jewish conservative media figure in question is Seth Dillon. State officials said a Texas man was arrested for making death threats against Jewish conservative media figure who live in Florida. State Attorney General James, this person, announced on X that the office of the statewide prosecutor was notified last week of the threat. He added that after an investigation, authorities got an arrest warrant and has charged Nicholas Ray of Spring, Texas, with extortion, writing threats to kill, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Laura Loomer, the far right activist and ally of President Donald Trump, announced on social media Monday evening that she was one of those targeted with death threats and had reported them to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. In her post, she said conservative commentator Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon of the Babylon Bee were also threatened. Loomer, in her post, said she became a target because the suspect was radicalized by the false accusation that I am a foreign agent. And then he proceeded to make a serious and credible threat against my life. Both Dillon and Hammer also went online to thank the Attorney General for the arrest. I don't recommend threatening Florida residents, Dillon posted on X, adding my family is sincerely grateful. A Florida Department of Law Enforcement probably caused arrest affidavit detail. A Florida Department of Law Enforcement probably caused arrest affidavit details, a lengthy list of anti-Semitic threats posted online in October by the username Zionist has come, that included posts such as you are going to get killed soon, buddy. It's coming. Traitors get hung. Another said that Americans will take turns beating your lifeless body with a piñata stick. You lifeless traitor. In the post, various people were accused of being Israeli agents. Blah 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 blah. Let me show you another one. These are things that are coming from let's go to Seth Dillon's Twitter, because he has a couple of examples from his Twitter. You can see it. People are sending him death threats, and many of those people, like this person who was arrested, is an ardent listener and follower of Candace Owens. Let me show you some of the things. Like this person gave receipts of who this person that give me a moment, let me get to some of these posts. Probably down probably down. Give me a second, let me pull it up. Bear with me. It's probably down. This happened like a couple of days. Okay. So here is the person in question. That's the Zionist has come. These are the list of people that he follows. Israel Exposed, Martin Talk Cowboys, Paul Miller, APAC Tracker, and person number 5, Candace Owens. Candace Owens. And these are the people that are influencing this person. So, here's the threat that he made to Seth Dillon. You are in it too. B. Don't think we forgot. Conspired with foreign government about killing Charlie. We know you. We know you did it. We are going to get you, I promise. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but you are living on borrowed time and you know it. These are the threats that are being sent. So this is, very serious stuff. This is very, very serious stuff. And these people will claim that, many of these people who inspire people to make this kind of statements, they will claim that, oh, no, we are just criticizing Israel. And here is one of them saying the painter was right. He went from criticizing Israel to, being a fan of Adolf Hitler. There's another one that I saw recently from Seth too, where somebody threatened him, and his response was so funny. I just want to show an example of one of those threats. These people receive threats regularly on social media, regularly, and the people are so brazen in their sending of these threats because they don't even care. They believe that they are righteous and they are vindicated in their hatred and their desire for blood, and they believe that they are doing the right thing because Candace Owens told them. Candace Owens told them that yes, this is the people you should be attacking. These people are suspicious. These people are dubious. These people are complicit, or these people are part of the. These people are part of the problem. Go after them. Where's there is one I'm looking for. Okay, here is it. So this person said, "I'll finish the job, Nicholas. Watch your back." Efas, that's Seth Dillon, Laura Luma, and Josh Hammer. And then Seth responded by, "Probably not wise to pick up where the guy who was just arrested left off." And then the person said, "Well, I'm not still arrested. Driving to your location right now. Let's see if the feds can save your behind this time." And Seth responded by saying, "Just told my wife not to worry about this. When he gets here, I'll just unite with him and then we'll defeat them." Oh, look at Matt Walsh catching strays. So yeah, this is real. Okay? This is real. This accusations being levied against people is real. It has real consequences,
And that you come clean, because Charlie said some other things, and I look at these things now and I think, wow.
And she just keeps saying all these things, and she's not making direct accusations. She's just, we can laugh about it, and it is really funny, and interesting to watch, and just how it's genius. It's genius on an evil level. It's really evil form of, wisdom, But this is costing people. This is going to cost people a lot. This is going to put so many people at risk of losing their life. When is Candace Owens going to stop? When somebody dies? Is it when somebody dies? Is it when somebody's house is shot? Is when somebody is attacked? Is it on the street in their homes or in their next speaking engagement? When is he going to stop? When somebody dies? That's the problem with alternate media, so-called, is that lack of responsibility. And of course, yes, mainstream media is irresponsible too, but it's the irresponsibility is more on this new media, this so-called new media, this podcast space, this online social media influencer space. People are not just responsible, very irresponsible. To speak like this is irresponsibility. But,
it's almost prophetic, right? It's almost prophecy. And I can tell you that this is a story that will have a happy ending, a tragedy that will have a happy ending. The world is going to learn the truth about this. They are. I would recommend that you come clean. There are lines in the sand that are being drawn right now between good and evil. Many of you have picked the evil side. To you, podcasters, people that make videos, people that are taking money, tell people don't look over there. I would recommend you stop doing that. You don't have to listen to me. You probably won't listen to me. And to people that betrayed Charlie, you probably won't come clean. Likely because you're scared now. You should be scared, but you're the wrong kind of scared, okay? fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. There is more.
Oh, God. Oh. Can you imagine this woman? Can you? You want to ruin these people's lives. You want to ruin their lives. Based on things that are unfounded, you want to ruin their lives. And you're saying they should be scared. And you're saying they should come clean. And say what exactly? They are lying, they should come clean. What are they lying about? If you know the truth, why not just say it? And then you quote the Bible that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. Yeah, that is a Bible passage you should listen to. Maybe you should, take a moment and listen to that scripture. Dwell on it, meditate on it. And fear God. In everything you are doing, these things you are doing, fear God. Fear God. Because right now, the fear of God is something that you don't have, Candace. Fear God. Fear God. As you are about to ruin people's lives, destroy their lives with things that are unfounded, that makes no sense. Because you've gathered a following of very, 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 very stupid people. People that are pathologically stupid. Now you want to ruin people's lives. And they should be afraid of your army of the most stupid people on the planet. Fear God. Fear God. Candace, fear God. Because you can do all the things you may be able to get away with it. But you cannot escape God, though. You should know that. Your fan base. People think maybe losing your public career, whatever it is, that is God's way of punishing people. People believe that when God wants to punish people, they will lose their career. Maybe, they will lose money. They will become poor. They will become bankrupt. No, that's not the way God punishes people. Jesus told us how God punished people. He said he can destroy both body and soul. Okay? God can destroy both body and soul. Your fan base, it's just reputation they can destroy. God can destroy both body and soul. That is the person you should be afraid of.
This is not it. I'm aware of that. That's why I've chosen to be on the side of goodness and truth, no matter what the cost is. I've picked my side. I don't care about any of you. I can't wait to read your articles after this. Okay?
For you to be able to pick the goodness and truth, you need to be able to know what it is. You see, that is the problem. You see, leftists who try to kill people, the very guy who shot Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, that guy thought he was on the side of good. But he was deluded. You see, a delusional person does not know what good is. Candace Owens, I don't think you are delusional. I think you are performing delusion. It's just performative delusion, right? But if you are doing this, your performance of delusion, people's real life are going to be affected here. You see, this is why mob rule is I'm not in support of mob rule. I'm not in support of jungle justice, right? We do it a lot in Nigeria here, where somebody is in the marketplace and that person is accused of stealing, and before the person can even speak up, people gather around and start beating the person. That is why we have legal systems. That's why we have the courts. That's why we have legal proceedings. That's why we have what we call fair hearing. Everybody gets their day in court, and the court decides who is innocent and who is guilty. And the process is based on evidence that is provided and presented, and how compelling they are. Not some crazy woman on social media telling you she has a gut feeling and she can sense because she's the Mason somehow. Her expert opinion is the feeling of a Turning Point USA Mason, bricklayer, essentially. That is her, proof. And stupid people on social media are going to listen to all of that and be like, yes, because they have nothing else going on in their life. I want to encourage so many people who listen to Candace Owens, get something doing with your life. Be busy. Have a life. Get a life. Stop spending hours believing the nonsense coming out of the mouth of Candace Owens, such that you even start issuing out threats to people. Get a life. Okay, get a life. Let's even assume that Candace Owens is right. Okay, so what do you do by killing those people? What are you? The law? what is tragic about this whole thing is that Candace Owens is taking advantage of people. And the people she's taking advantage of are stupid people. One of the most handicapped, helpless, mentally helpless people in our society. They're stupid. She's taking advantage of them, exploiting them, recruiting them as her army. It's so sad to see her take advantage of stupid people like this.
That's breakfast for me. That inspires me now. Can't wait to read your loony tweets. I can't wait for you to lie about things that I've said. I cannot wait because you know what? On a hike that Charlie and I were on in Wyoming one time, we were discussing the death penalty. Like he was asking, like, what's your position on the death penalty?
Oh my
and
goodness,
I told him, I've always been against it.
I think we are done here. We are done. We are done. I have no interest in hearing anything else that Candace has to say. So yeah, that is the update from Candace Owens. That's all the update from the crazy woman that Charlie decided to make to view as a friend and bring into, bring under his wings. Or maybe she brought him under. I don't know who was under whose wings, but it's interesting. Here is this wonderful person who is following my channel clearly, and you can see that this person is an ardent follower of my channel because of this nonsense that this person just said. I always know fans, especially when they say rubbish like this. I mean, this moron said that, Frank, every other video you do is about her. Well, no. I know Candace Owens have convinced you that she's special, but she's not, okay? And I've never treated her as such. Let me give you a list of videos that I've made. Not every other video. Granted, I've made many videos about her, but not every other video is about her, okay? So calm down, Kami GR. Calm down, oh? And every other video she has made is about the people she's accusing. Why don't you go and tell her that, Kami? Why don't you go and tell her that? Why is she always talking about Josh Hammer? Why is she always talking about Charlie Kirk? Why is she always talking about every other person? Why is she always talking about Turning Point USA? Every other video she makes is about Turning Point USA. Why is that? And don't give me that stupid, she's the Mason of Turning Point USA. Well, I'm a viewer of Turning Point USA's work. Not like I'm a fan of it anyway, but I guess that if being a Mason of Turning Point USA kind of justifies you going relentlessly against the organization, then, me being a viewer of their content on social media gives me enough justification to comment about it. In fact, I don't even need any justification to comment about it. But you are wrong still. As in, regardless of all of that, you are wrong. Every other video I make is not about her. And you wouldn't know that, but you should. Let me show you the few live streams I've done and how they are not about her. And how all of them, rather, are not about her. So that you can see it and be wise. Here it is. This is the last one I did. As you can see, this one is the one that is about her. This is the one you are watching right now. This is the last one I did. And Candace is just one of the topics. I talked about Nigeria. In fact, I spent a long amount of time talking about Nigeria and then talking about Matt Walsh. The next live stream I did about Nigeria. The next one about Nigeria, the United States and Matt Walsh. The next one was about Matt Walsh. The next one was about Nigeria. The next one was about Dave Smith. The next one was about Muslims. Then this other one is about Candace Owens. This one is not about her. 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 Are you seeing? This one is not about her. This one is not about her. This one is not about her. Then this one is about her. This one is not about her. This one is not about her. This one is clearly not about her. This one is not about her. This one is, are you seeing? Are you seeing it? This one is not about her. This one is not about her. And then this one is about her. And this one. So please, it's not every other video is about her. Calm down, okay? I know Candace Owens is teaching people how to lie. You said, this is another ridiculous criticism. She can talk about what she wants, but don't suggest she's not relevant or shouldn't be listened to when you amplify her constantly. First of all, I don't think I've ever said on this channel that Candace Owens is not relevant. Okay? I've never said that. I've never said, oh, Candace Owens is irrelevant. I think she's relevant. I think in fact, one of the reasons why I talk about her is because she's relevant, because people are listening to her. In fact, I've in multiple live streams demonstrated that she's a danger because of the relevance that she has. In fact, that's one of the things that I'm pointing out in this live stream. The danger that she poses. I don't know if you are listening, but fine. And then you saying that I am amplifying her. Are you ridiculous? The video we just saw, has how many millions of views? Over 2 million views. 2.3 million views and counting. Candace Owens have 5 million subscribers. I don't even have up to 500,000 subscribers, and I don't do the number of views that she does, but I'm the one amplifying her. Are you? Don't you understand how social media works? Absolutely said. Anyways, moving on. All right, guys, that is that about that. We've come to the end of the live stream. How do I end this? Be careful who you keep as friends. That's one. Second is God should just deliver. Even me that is giving people advice on how to, be careful how you do this. You can be careful all you want, and you still end up having people like Candace Owens destroy your friends and destroy everything that you work for. I mean, there's something a friend of mine used to say, you can't be too careful. And that's the truth at the end of the day. You can't be too careful, So God is the person that can help us. And at the end of the day, we should pray. People always say, pray for Candace Owens. And fine, if you want to do that, do. But I would say, pray for Turning Point USA. Pray for Erica. Pray for those who have been attacked by Candace. Pray that God will help them. Pray that God will deliver them. Because see, God can silence the mouth of every accuser. Okay, He can do that. God can do that. And pray for them that God will silence the person who is accusing them, or at least not kill the person. Okay, but silence their accusers, or silence the accusation. Silence the accusation, because this can have very devastating effects. And that is my prayer, that God will help these people and silence the accusations against them, silence their accusers, and give them safety. Okay? Because it will be tragic if this results in the death of people who, imagine because of this, someone like Seth Dillon gets attacked. Someone like Laura Luma gets attacked. Why? Because they are pro-Israel, and because they've spoken against Candace, and because Candace now has a morbid fan base, and because people like Matt Walsh and the rest of them will not even call out their so-called best friend, So pray for the safety of these people. Pray that God will keep them, God will strengthen them, and pray that at the end of the day, evil people will be silenced. And I believe it will happen, It will endure for a while. Like, it will go on for a while, but it will not last. It will not last. It will not last. It will not last. So yeah, that is that about that. Kami said, I still love you, Frank. I disagree about this topic. I don't know what your disagreement is, actually. I don't know what the disagreement is, but fine. Maybe your disagreement is me talking about the subject. Fine. It's okay to disagree on that, but I don't think me talking about it is somehow making it worse. If there's anything I can do, if there's any effect that my video is going to have, you see that it's going to annoy few, maybe one or two, or a couple of, or a handful at the very most, a handful of Candace Owens fans that will stumble on the video, God willing, And at the end of the day, if they are offended, fine. If there's one thing that this will achieve, at the very least, is to sow a seed in their heart, a seed of doubting Candace Owens. If that's what I can be able to achieve, because listen, it's real people that are watching her. Yes, she's making rage-based content. There is no lie about that. But people are watching her make this kind of content. People are watching her do it, and people are hanging on to every word that comes out of her mouth and believing that she's going to save them, or she's fighting this good fight. So, and she's dangerous because people are watching her. So it is important to call it out and say, look, this is dangerous. This is evil. Look at what this will lead to. And at least if one of her fans, even if it's one, gets to stumble upon this video and say, okay, you know what? Maybe at the start they are annoyed, but later on they keep watching and they realize this person has a point. That is a win. You cannot save them all, but at least if you can save one, that is one too many, if you ask me. So yeah, that is where I'm coming from. And yep. Anyways, God is going to protect us all and deliver us from evil. Like we pray in the Lord's Prayer. He's going to deliver us from evil. And one of the ways that he has ordained to deliver us from the evil one is by bringing us salvation. Salvation that can come only through his Son. Okay? The ultimate deliverance from evil is salvation. The one that Jesus came, died, and rose on the third day for. So if you want to be delivered from that evil, this is your moment. God is calling you. Okay? God is calling you. Give your life to him. Surrender your life to him. And he will save you from your sins. And he will guarantee you an eternity with him. You will escape the wrath that is to come. And you will come into his presence, into a new life, into redemption. Give your life to him. All right, guys. That is all I have for you. I want to thank IC for the super sticker. I really appreciate. Thanks to everyone for joining me. And until we meet again, peace.